Hello there, everyone, and welcome to our penultimate episode, of season 5 of Super Cast Brothers. Wait, no, not quite penultimate. There's like 2 or 3 more. It's one of our. It's the first episode in our season finale, which is always 3 episodes long, but this season it's 4 episodes long. Just roll with it. I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister. That's Jonno, otherwise known as John. He hasn't spoken yet, but he's here. I think. Okay, good.
Hey,
He is here.
everybody. It is me, Mickey Mouse.
Well, this is the Disney episode, but also please don't get Disney to sue us.
We will
Only
use
the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is in public domain. Not all Mickey Mouse. Just so we're clear.
our mouse tools today.
Oh God, I'm gonna get sued. Disney, please. I didn't mean it.
Well, you know what? I would love to be a Disney Channel spokesperson. Just have us up there with drawing the ears on the screen. Go to Disneyland and wear the ears. Say we've got ears. Say cheers.
See, part of me is thinking part of me is thinking ask the questions like, okay, and what Disney Channel show would you be part of where you get to draw the ears? But I think I know the answer.
I what are you thinking?
I'm not saying it.
The House of Mouse?
Sure, that'll work.
Corey in the house?
Fuck. There it is.
Well, they have said that they have said before that my stern advocation for logic has positioned me into such a place that I should have a job within the White House
God.
as president of the United States.
I'm not voting for you.
Well, if you're not voting for me, you're not voting for anybody.
Anybody but you. That's not true. We're not getting into that, but that's not true. Oh boy. That ain't why we're here today. We are here because ever since season 2, the final on topic episode of the season is some kind of roster making episode. Whether it's making a roster for Smash, or for a Mario Kart game, or a Disney fighting game. What? Disney fighting game? That's right. If we can get, there's like Cartoon Network's Punch Time Explosion, there's Nickelodeon's, I forget what it's called, All-Star Brawl. If multiverses can be a thing, and Shrek
LeBron.
Super Slam, and all these other games, why can't we have a Disney fighting game? And I am quoting the name Disney's Kingdom Clash because that's just perfect.
Phenomenal name. That might be the best content that we produce out of this episode. It is a great name. Like if it were to happen, that's what it could be called easily.
Early on when planning the season, I had written down Disney's Kingdom Clashers, but it just didn't sound right when I said it out loud. It's like, Clashers isn't working. Clash, though. Disney's Kingdom Clash. I also considered Disney's Kingdom Slam or Slammers. But I was like, wait, hold on. There's Shrek Super Slam. I can't infringe on that. I got to be different.
Wow. You know what? This proves human ingenuity wins over technology any day. Putting this into an AI generator for no reason. Said, what would you name a Disney fighting game? Their suggestions were Disney Clash, Disney versus Disney Fight Club.
That's the winner. Who owns Fight Club? I gotta look. Who made
Disney
the Fight
Combat
Club
Heroes? Like, what is
honestly
this?
Disney Combat Heroes? I could actually see being a thing. I could see that one.
Right. But
oh my god! Disney owns Fight Club now because it was made by Fox.
Wow!
Oh my god! Shit!
What?
Oh no!
wow.
Wait, it's
And
a book?
I did not know that.
It was based off of a 1996 novel by Chuck Palahniuk. I know I'm saying that wrong, but I don't know how to say it.
Wow.
Huh.
Okay then.
Okay
Well,
then.
we could,
So yeah,
what the fuck? We could have put fucking Brad Pitt on this roster. Oh
I
well.
would not. I mean, you could have. I would not have.
Could have put Edward Norton on there
Like,
as a
do I
funny
have
nod.
box
It's like, hey, here's
content
the Hulk.
on my roster? Yes. Did I limit it? Yes.
Oh, good. Jared Leto was in this movie. Could have put him in.
No, I don't think I would. But
Thanks,
yeah.
Chat GPT.
So John and I have both made two completely separate rosters for a Disney fighting game. Pretty much anything so long as it's owned by Disney is on the table. Uh, Disney animated movies, Disney Channel TV shows, uh,
Yeah.
Fox, Marvel, all of that's on the table. Oh, Lucasfilm
Mhm.
as well. I knew that was like I'm missing a big one. Oh right, Lucas. It's like all of that is available. Whether or not we use any of it or how much we use of any category, it was totally up to us. We've made these rosters completely
Mhm.
separate. I, of course, as always, had to know Jono's roster in order for me to do the graphics for the video. But I made my roster before seeing Jono's, and Jono has no idea what I have done. Some things, John on my roster, John would be like, "Yep, yep, these make sense." Some things on my roster, John will be like, "What?" And I can't wait for those moments. They
There'll
always
be
give me
a
the good
there's
tingle.
the good. Okay, that sounds like a man who just came from watching Deadpool and Wolverine.
I may have just come from watching Deadpool Wolverine a couple hours ago.
The good tingle.
Yes, not the one with the rosy rupee land. That's Nintendo, and we're not talking about Nintendo today. But Deadpool is
Only
topical
for,
because
for
Marvel and it's owned by Disney, so we can talk about that.
oh
Maybe
yeah.
Deadpool is on a roster today. Who knows? I know the answer. Jono technically doesn't know the answer to that question.
I know half of the answer, but not the full.
You know whether or not Deadpool is on your roster. Your bitch ass don't know
Hmm.
mine.
Neither does Douglas Fairbanks.
Stop. How did you find out? No! Stop looking at my roster. I don't know who that is.
uh, an American actor and filmmaker from the silent era. He was a swashbuckler, the king of Hollywood.
Okay.
And
Anyhoodle.
yeah.
So unless we somehow get through this super quickly, which I doubt, we're not going to be combining our rosters at the end of this. Though I would be very curious to do that thought experiment. That probably won't make it into the podcast since that'll just take too long. I'm sorry. But we will be going through our roster, going one by one. We'll each reveal a character, alternating. Uh, kind of think about like why we chose who we chose. Maybe if we have any thoughts on like how what they would do. I don't know what Jono's process was, but I went through like a list of Disney movies, like things that I hadn't watched, and I was just like
Mhm.
over the past year, I was just like I just watched all of the Disney movies I was missing, which was mostly the modern ones, and then some ones from before my time. And I had a list of across all categories. It's like over 100 characters that were in consideration, and some of them I'm very upset that just did not have room for. It was like I would love to do you, but there's other characters I have to do first, and there just wasn't room. And
Mhm.
I hated it. I hated that I couldn't do some characters, and some of it was like there'd be like there's some characters that I felt like okay I require this character, they have to be here, but in some cases it was like okay this movie needs a character. There's like two or three options. So once I had picked like most of my roster, I was like okay how many men and women do I have, how many heroes and villains, how many normal sized characters, smaller animals, big brawly bruisers. And then I was like okay now that I know how many I have in all these categories, I can now start to balance it a bit and be like, okay, that movie that I didn't know who I was going to use from, now I can pick who I'm going to use.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. I had a very similar process. Sub out the watching the films recently as opposed to I've watched most of what has appeared on my roster already. I have a pretty overall decent like perfunctory memory of each of them.
Hmm.
So I'm just pulling from that for reference. But I had the list in front of me from a Disney Wiki. I'm not sure which one it was anymore. I'm sorry because we made these rosters so long ago.
It was about 8 months ago we actually made these rosters.
Right, but I considered every aspect of Disney, which has grown exponentially. They're already a massive company,
Yeah.
and now they own Fox, they own Lucasfilms, they have distribution rights for several other films and TV shows and comics and books and games, and it's like it is easily overwhelming. Like 50 characters is a lot, but for this thought process, this think tank, I mean, I had over double that when I was considering, all of my options,
Yep.
all of my serious considerations. I probably had 120, 130 characters initially.
That sounds about
And
right.
cutting that back was hard. It
Yeah.
was there are several characters. I had a small process that we'll get into as we go on, where it's like, okay, here are so many classic, quote unquote classic or retro vintage Disney characters, classic Disney movies, TV shows. Here are so many Pixar characters, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and then also kind of went into the categorization of uh, making sure that there was a decent distribution of the demographics as you were talking about, like villains and different genders and so on.
Yeah.
Um, so all that was taken into account. I like my roster quite a bit. I have a feeling that ours will veer in a number of ways, which will be interesting to see happen. So,
Oh yeah.
and there are characters on my roster too that I think would have been a surprise had you not had to know who they were. So you kind of know who I'm talking about already, but we'll get into it.
I'm sorry, what?
What
What did you just say?
about who?
Something about me. And that I'll know
Oh
what you're talking
yes.
about.
Oh, you already know the characters I'm referring to when I say, oh, there are a few surprises on my roster.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one in particular I was just like, bruh.
Yeah. This is the reaction I want, so that is good. Okay, but I mean, otherwise, sounds like we can just kind of wallow, waddle on into things.
Yeah. Now, something we actually didn't say is how many characters are on both these rosters. There are 50 characters, which sounds like a lot, but even then, we had trouble narrowing it down. Like, God,
Mhm.
it sucked. I feel like if I could just have 10 more slots, I could make it perfect. But, ugh.
Yep.
Although, to be fair, some of mine, yeah, they could definitely go. It's just I'm being a chaotic bias with some of these. I actually we before about a week before recording, I was like, okay, here's a reminder of your roster. If you want to make any changes, now's the time to do so. And you gave me 5 changes. I was just like, damn, okay. And I made one change to mine. I removed one of my biggest bias characters for somebody from a movie that I find very underappreciated. I was like, no, I'm giving this movie a nod. I'm sorry, childhood bias. You have to take a back seat here.
Damn.
It hurt.
Sorry, Land Before Time.
That's not Disney.
Oh yeah, it's Universal. How interesting.
Maybe we'll make a Universal roster. I don't know. Universal versus who made Despicable Me?
Uh, someone.
Wow.
Wow, I can't. Illumination.
Universal versus Illumination in Marvel vs. Capcom style. There you
Yeah,
go.
Channing. Channing Tatum knows Illumination pretty well.
What? I don't know what that means. Jono, which one of us is going to go first?
You know what? I think I went first in the last time that you asked me to go first on something, so you can go first.
All right. Well, in that case, there's only one character that it makes any sense to begin with. Because if you're going to be doing anything Disney, period, you require one particular character above all those. There are other characters that are like of high tier importance, but nobody is on the level of Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is
Oh shit!
required for a Mickey Mouse is required for a Disney fighting game roster. You just cannot get around it. He's in the number
I
one slot. He's in the Mario slot for a goddamn reason. You can pull from so much fucking material. You gotta have Mickey Mouse.
normally I would agree. I have a feeling I might be in trouble. Um, I had thought that perhaps I could be Mickey Mouse in this episode, and just referring to him and saying everybody says "Oh Toodles" and various other quotes. Maybe we didn't need to put him on the roster. Oh yeah, well no, he's on my roster too. That's right. There he is,
Okay.
Mickey Mouse, someone who I've been stumping for in the Smash universe
God,
for almost 20 years
I hate you so much.
in a way. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know you do.
I wish
I don't
violent
understand.
retribution against you.
I don't know most of these Mickey Mouse quotes like Miska Muska Mickey Mouse. What is that?
It's
He could
probably some random ass Mickey Mouse cartoon.
he
There
could
were a
say
lot
that
of
as a
them.
taunt if he want.
I want him
Yeah,
to have
that's
a
true.
Mouseketeers taunt.
That would be great. That's something you could lean into everything. The
Mickey could have
steamboat,
so many
the
alternate costumes. Steamboat
yeah,
Willie is a
yeah,
stage. Let's be honest. Steamboat Willie
yeah,
guaranteed to be a
yeah.
stage. Come on, you
Hmm.
gotta have it.
Fantasia.
Yes, that's that
Yeah.
also an alt for sure.
Hmm.
Do classic
Uh,
Mickey, Steamboat Mickey, Fantasia Mickey, Kingdom Hearts Mickey, Musketeers Mickey. All of these are alts, 100%.
hmm.
I'm sure there's several other costumes I just don't know, but those ones you gotta have them.
Hmm.
Like worm
Oh
doodles.
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Just looking at all of the different costumes he's had over the years on like an image search right now. You would have to get very selective about what you choose, but for sure some of these for sure, like the Mouseketeer you mentioned, the um, Fantasia you mentioned, Kingdom Hearts, all that. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, and from there, I don't know, like Epic Mickey, maybe. I have no idea, but cool, good. There he is, the obligatory one.
Hmm. Now, something I will say about the way that I arranged the images for our rosters is they're going to go in certain categories if these categories are present. It's going to be like the Mickey Mouse collection of characters, and then mainline Disney movies, and then it's going to be the Pixar movies, and then Disney television shows, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Fox, and then finally anything video game related. This is the order things will appear on the roster, and inside of each of these categories, characters are being they will be done in order of original release date of their property.
Right.
And I say
Okay.
this to lead up to a character on the mainline Disney movie side for me. It is the second to last character for my mainline Disney part of the roster. So you're going to see
Okay.
roughly how much Disney I have on here. I guess John won't because he's not seeing this roster image. Unfortunate for you. But this character much like Mickey, I think this character is required to be a part of a Disney fighting game roster. Not necessarily because I strictly want them. I don't dislike this character or their movie, but this character and movie blew the fuck up.
Yeah.
It People went fucking nuts singing its songs, and they just can't
Oh,
let it go.
okay. God damn it.
It's Elsa.
The lead up. Man,
They can't let it
that was
go. What
good.
can I say? And I
Yep,
mean, also
that is
like you
true.
have a character like here we have like like a main important female character in the movie, and who doesn't necessarily fight in the movie, but she can you go crazy with the ice powers. You can have a lot of fun with her, and yeah, there's gonna be a good amount of prime Disney for me.
hmm Rosalina's in. Cool.
I mean,
Yeah, Smash has their own answer to Elsa. Yeah, I think that's a very good pick. We'll see if she appears on my roster. The suspense. There's so much of it. But for now, I'm gonna reveal. Let's go into the world of Disney television.
okay.
A wonderful world of Disney television. Uh, because I would like to reveal uh, a marsupial creature, a platypus, if you will.
Wait, hold on. A platypus?
Yeah, you see it.
What?
You see it right there.
Yeah, I see a What do you mean you're putting a platypus?
Uh,
That's just a
put it.
platypus.
Hold on. Put a hat on it.
Perry the platypus.
There he is. Perry the
Oh my god,
platypus.
I couldn't recognize him. You're right. You really need the hat.
I'm laughing because that almost sounded like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Like that was so close. You could probably reasonably mimic that voice quite well.
I'd have to. I've
Yeah,
seen very little of it. Like I feel like I can hear the voice in my head, but I'd have to watch it more.
same here. That show has persisted. Like it has a massive following online still, and now the people that have watched it are of a certain age, so they're making a lot of content that you just randomly see online about it, which is kind of the majority of the consumption I've had of Phineas and Ferb as well. I kind of feel like it would be a show I would enjoy. I wouldn't be against watching it all the way through someday, and just kind
I
of
think I would enjoy at least the
assessing
platypus parts. I don't know if I'd enjoy the rest of the show.
it. Right, right. That's kind of it too. But I honestly have no idea. Like I don't know what the plot of the show is. Um,
It's
but
just two
but
kids that are
yeah.
enjoying their summer vacation.
Oh, okay.
That's the main show. Perry is the B plot.
And yet it's Perry that has persisted like
Yeah,
into this stardom. I think it's a very I would venture out to say if you are representing Disney television like cartoons, you have to include Perry the Platypus at this point. We're at this juncture where he is just this cultural phenomenon. He doesn't like without knowing the character from seeing him in the show. I don't know everything he could do, but apparently he's just very adept. Like he uses some spy tools and knows judo apparently. So that all plays into the character and what you can do. So kind of like a melee martial arts base, which you wouldn't quite expect out of a platypus.
you would not.
And I'm cool with that. Like that's it. It would be funny and see what else kind of goofy stuff you can throw out there. Oh, goofy. That
Hmm.
sounds like a familiar name. But yeah, there he is. I wanted to get him, kind of throw a curveball with the TV aspect, but also not out of the realm of reason. Like this is a character that could very well happen in a game like this.
Yeah. And like
Hmm.
you're saying, like as far as Disney cartoons, like he's like the one you gotta have. Personally, I think this is a different character that I would put above Perry. But I also just in general, my Disney TV section is very small. I did not slot very many
Hmm.
characters into that category. I definitely put a lot more weight to like the big Disney movies from myself. So there's not gonna be a
Oh,
lot of Disney TV from me. I'll
and I
get
can
into
see.
that a
Oh,
bit
wow,
more
yeah.
later, but it's
Hmm.
very limited. Even Pixar, like I'm kind of looking at my list here and just like I feel like I should have given Pixar more stuff. I feel like I did disservice to Pixar, but I
Hmm.
do feel like of the Pixar ones I have, at the very least, I have the three, arguably the three most important movies are represented.
Okay. Um, Interesting.
And
Yeah.
I guess I
Yeah.
might as
I can.
well reveal the first of them.
Okay.
If you're going to have any Pixar movie, any Pixar character, any Pixar movie being represented, there's one you have to look at first. This is a requirement character. Again, you
Hmm.
got to look at Toy Story.
Yes.
Nothing from Pixar matters until you get Toy Story in there. The question with Toy Story is what do you do between Buzz and Woody? Because
That's it.
either of them are good choices. And if either of them being chosen really hurts the fact that you're now not choosing the other. And I considered having both. I really thought
Hmm.
about it. But in the end, I was just like, no, no, no. Toy Story is Woody's story.
Oh,
So I had
nice.
to go with Woody.
Cool. Okay. Mildly unexpected. Like Buzz seems to be a little more in the limelight in terms of like people's fave, but um, Woody is the character that I attached myself to. Having watched that movie when I was very young, so I'm not against that choice at all. That is great. Um, Always one for the Cowboys. Perhaps Woody informed my decision to move to Arizona subconsciously.
I mean, I feel like he's also just like a better representation of like toy. And like you see the way he
Yeah.
moves around, and like Buzz is a plastic action figure. Woody is much older toy. Like the way that he
Hmm.
runs around, his arms flail. Buzz Lightyear's arms don't flail.
Right. Like the intention of Buzz's character in the first movie was like, oh, he's flashy and brand new and this and that. Woody's more classic. I see what you're
Yeah.
getting at.
Woody's
Um,
type of toy is before our time. Like that's the kind of toy our parents
mhm.
would have had.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, that's very true. And yeah, I see it too. Like in the the scope of all the films, Woody is the more central character. Like Buzz has a lot of interesting B plot going on. The Spanish mode, the Emperor
Hmm.
Zurg, the this, but Woody is
Zurg was also in
being
consideration very briefly. It's
yeah.
like, boy, that'd be funny.
I'll say me too. Like if I were going, I was briefly considering like, oh, Lightyear came out recently. We can throw that Zurg in here.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
But or that Buzz rather, and then But speaking of which, I have Buzz Lightyear on my list.
Oh. Oh, wait.
Yeah, yeah.
Your Buzz looks weird.
Does he?
Yeah, that's the Buzz from the Lightyear movie.
So it is. And you know what? It's was 8 months since I made that decision, and I forgot I did. But there he is.
Well, that's
Yeah,
gonna upset some people.
it is. But what kind of people?
I don't
You
know
know,
people that prefer Toy
I
Story.
we'll perhaps get to that because you're right. You might have only one character for Toy Story, but this is not Toy Story. This is the movie that Andy watched, apparently, that
Yes,
made him
yeah,
want Buzz
supposedly.
Lightyear. There are a few things about that are like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this movie a lot, actually. I had no issue with this film. I think
I
that there,
I
yeah,
enjoyed
no
most of it. I like the
major issue.
concepts behind it. I did think,
Mhm.
well, like I did think the final twist at the end was kind of dumb, but beyond that, I thought it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, like the issues that you and I may have with the film are not the issues that incels online have with the film. I'll put it that way.
We don't talk
Um,
about them.
no, we don't. No, we don't. And I think they, I could see, um, besides them, there being some controversy of this just not being the Toy Buzz, who was the iconic version of the character. But we will get into that very shortly. And in the meantime, I mean, here he is. He can more or less just do all the shit that the Toy Buzz can do, but in real man form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Uh, yeah.
All right, for my fourth, going back to Disney Prime here, as I'm gonna refer to it. Uh, Big popular movie, personal favorite childhood movie of mine, and this character is another one that I feel like would 100% get in no matter what. I'll get into my weird shit later, but for now, I mean, come on, Simba, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Come
definitely.
on. Like you could do Scar if you wanted, like if you thought it was like, I would like another villain, you could easily swap that. I was like, nah man, I need Simba. I need my Lion King. I need the reason why I like lions.
Was okay, so that goes back to your first username on the internet.
Yes. Well, second username.
Second.
Yeah. There's
What was
another
your
one
first?
before.
Red 13?
And no, the first one was Lizardo. It's literally
No.
just lizard with the letter O at the end. It
Okay.
was on one website. I don't remember what that website was. It had some weird thing where like
Mhm.
your avatar was like three different images that you could scroll together. I don't know, it was some weird thing. But then yeah, after that I used Lions Kid with a Z.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Lion King came out the same year that I was born.
I'm sorry. You're a
It's a
baby.
great film. I mean, I'm same. Yeah. And so are you. You're my baby.
No, no, we're not doing that.
Cut that for the Instagram Reels, shippers. Anyway, uh, funny that you mentioned that. I think that I need to say that I have Scar on my roster.
Oh.
Yeah, there he is. There was a lot of back and forth. I will say, this is the only Lion King character on my roster. Um, and Simba is a major iconic character. I thought of Simba and Mufasa, adult Simba, young Simba, this and that. Blah, blah, but I settled on Scar, and I may as well put it out there. I wanted a certain balance of villains. This kind of informed it, even though he is not the iconic main character of this film, this very beloved cultural phenomenon film. Uh, he is a phenomenal villain, one of the very best, I think, indiscriminately from Disney's classic films. So he still has a place here, and I want it to be a little different, and have this malnourished evil bastard uh, on the roster for reasons that will become more apparent as more of my roster is revealed. So in the meantime, there he is.
All right. Well, I think now is the right time for me to reveal a villain on my side of the roster as well. And this is going
Okay.
to be the earliest villain that I have on my roster.
Hmm.
And there are several good picks. There are so many good ones. And I'm sure anybody else like, wait, but this movie was before then. You didn't have them? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's so many choices, so many iconic characters that are not missing or that are not on my roster, but it just had to be this way. But my earliest villain is Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Nice.
Ariel could have fit in very well, but I thought Ursula would be a great, not only strong villain choice, strong female choice, and uh, non-standard body type with all the tentacles and everything. Because like, sure, Ariel has just like the little tail, but the tentacles with Ursula's form is vastly different that you can do a lot more other things with. I thought that would be
Right.
pretty interesting to utilize.
That's great. I would love to play. She was a great heavyweight character. I could imagine her utilizing all of just her unique body type in a way that you don't see from any character in Smash, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. It would be Yeah, it would be quite unique. I'm for that. And again, so you kind of adopted what I did with Scar. It's like, oh, here's a villain that is just about as well known as the main character and beloved and shit. So there you go.
Yep.
Cool. Her final smash could just be her growing ginormous and having the storm all
Yeah.
things. There you go. There you go. That's neat. Um, okay, so Ursula's on your list. And just to rip that band-aid off, I have Woody on my roster as well.
Oh.
Yeah, and he is toy Woody because there's not a real world human version of him. So there you go. That kind of solves that. I have Lightyear Buzz and actual Toy Story Woody. So in a way, I have a Toy Story rep, just one, just like you. Then I got a little cute with it.
Hmm.
But again, for your reasons, I just could not do this without Woody on the roster. You mentioned cutting a childhood favorite pick. If I had to cut my childhood favorite pick, it would have been Woody. Luckily, Woody is such an important character to Disney as a whole. It's like, okay, he's in.
Yeah.
And it would be, yeah, just a fun. Yeah, he's cowboy, but he's also toy cowboy. So there'd be some fun with that.
Hmm.
He also he also goes pretty hard in Kingdom Hearts. Some of his cutscenes, I'm like, damn.
They were not
Okay.
afraid.
No, they were
It's too
not.
bad that other worlds did not get that treatment.
Hmm. So it goes. So it goes.
So it goes. For my next one, let's dive into Disney TV here. I only have four
Yeah.
characters in the Disney TV bucket.
Hmm.
One of them I think is required. These other three, less so, but I do think this first one I'm going to reveal is might be the best. Might be the
Okay.
best. This they would be incredibly funny, not only to see them animated, but seeing their attacks, their voice lines. I don't know if the original actress is still alive because I don't know these things. But if they are, we need them back because man, I just want to see Miss Piggy fight. I considered Kermit, but I was like, no, it's gotta be Miss Piggy. It's gotta be Miss
Oh my
Piggy.
god.
It's like, yeah, I need this. The first one in my
Oh my.
Disney TV section, Miss
Oh my
fucking
god.
Piggy. Let's go.
that that's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank
That is pretty good. Fuck, I forgot that they own Jim Henson.
you.
Oops.
Yep.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. I probably would have gone Kermit. I mean, but not in this world where I forgot. Um, that
It's
that's
okay.
great.
In the hypothetical thought experiment where we have to combine our rosters, we can drop one of your characters for Miss Piggy.
True. Oh, Fraggle Rock is also on the. Surely there's a Fraggle on in your roster.
No spoilers.
Okay. Oh yeah, and all that excitement. I forgot that I have to reveal a character.
Correct.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream and all that stuff. Actually, I think that was Alice in Wonderland, but I was trying to refer to Snow White. Oh, that's right. It was so. This is that was the. Oh, anyway, Snow White is there.
The first animated Disney movie.
Precisely it from the wonders of 1937 America. there is there is Snow White, and I mean, I imagine that she would incorporate singing and animals and the dwarves in some way, but I don't know. I don't have an amazing vision of what that would look like. But just for the reputation, I think if you're gonna have Disney princess, quote unquote, here. She's one of the very best you can use for that distinguishment of saying, oh, she's the very first from almost 100 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, time fucking flies,
My God.
as the Wicked Witch said. Um, yeah, the evil queen. So there she is. I think it's one of those things. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're like, how would that work? Except why not? Smash has a lot of off the wall shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I I I did definitely I wanted to have some more old school Disney representation on mine, especially when it's like the typical princesses. Some of them are kind of hard to do. Like you can't like Sleeping Beauty. She kind of doesn't work as a character, and a game like this,
And have
Maleficent
her.
could.
Hmm.
Maleficent could represent that
Good.
movie. Unfortunately, when I said Ursula is my earliest villain, that kind of means Maleficent's not on my roster. I will get to the reason why later. No, you will not be satisfied. Actually, I guess I can just say, I had Maleficent on my list at one point, but then I cut her, and I was just like, my justification is just like, okay, this other character's my justification for you. Also, Dragon Maleficent is final boss. There, I'm good. You might think like, wait, not Chernabog from Fantasia? That was the idea until I cut Maleficent. Chernabog was my final boss until I cut Maleficent. I was like, bye Chernabog. It's Maleficent's the final boss now. That's how
my
I will
my
deal with it.
my final boss is Mojo from X-Men.
I love it. I love it.
Kingdom Clash, enter the Mojoverse.
For
There you
viewers,
go.
because only Jonno knows this, a few months ago I made a new Marvel vs. Capcom roster with the idea being that Mojo is, who is a really weird X-Men villain. He forced the worlds to combine so they can get ratings for his TV network. Mojo is a weird and funny character. I love it. Um,
I Yes, I came up with that for that reason, off the seat of my pants, obviously. But it doesn't sound that bad on paper. I
I
think I'll
mean,
stick with that.
I mean,
Yeah.
But like yeah, I wanted to consider like several of the old school Disney properties, especially the princesses, and most of the princesses just don't work. It'd be like a different character from their property. But one
Hmm.
that does work, an original Disney princess, is Snow
Mm.
White.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The original
Nice.
Disney princess, I had to have her on my list because of that. Well, it, I wouldn't have had her if I didn't think there was a way for her to work, but I figured easily go with like an animal summoning type deal. Like she
Hmm.
sings and then birds come flying in or a squirrel runs over or whatever.
Hmm.
You could have Cinderella doing
Yep.
something different, something similar to that.
Hmm.
And I considered a Cinderella rep who wasn't actually Cinderella, but then they didn't make the roster either. I considered the fairy godmother.
Wow, that did that. I don't know if that ever passed my mind when I was working on this, but that would have been a great choice too.
Hmm.
Have the carriage appear and fall on people and transformation mumbo jumbo.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, who next? Who next? I would venture to say that you may feel lucky with this character. They were inspired by Douglas Fairbanks, in fact, the American actor and filmmaker, known as one of the first on-screen interpreters of Zorro. Um, that is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a oh boy, that's a bit of a cut.
It's a bit of a cut. Mickey's old pal from back in the day. Um, and he predates Mickey, in fact, by I think a year or
Yeah,
so. And
there was a
there was some
big
rights,
rights kerfuffle with Oswald. Oh
right,
boy.
between Disney and Universal, actually, for a long time, um, going back and forth. And then Oswald appears in Epic Mickey,
After they
a
got the
number of years
rights,
ago.
they did get
Right.
like They basically got the rights and it's like we can bring Oswald back in this game or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I think he's kept this kind of retro vibe to him. Like most of the things that he does still goes back into this slapstick black and white era. So I figured, if Mickey is holding down the fort with everything else he's ever freaking done, have Oswald in here to maybe have a nod to the Epic Mickey stuff in the theme parks while also calling back to Steamboat Willie and Oh What a Night and all of those old rubber hose cartoons. So he would move and fight in a really strange way, unique to the roster, uh, pretty much only rivaled by shit like Cuphead, which is not a Disney character. So,
No.
yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to have a character who relies on older charms. Again, almost 100 years old. 3 years, 3 years away from being 100 years old.
Damn.
From the time of recording this video, uh, have him. Apparently, his debut was Oswald in Trolley Troubles, so he was the progenitor of the trolley dilemma.
Trouble with the trolley, eh?
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry
yeah,
to all the
just
Spyro fans that I just traumatized. Also, I'm not sorry. If I must suffer, you must suffer.
but yeah, there he is. This is one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's a deeper cut, but again, it calls back to the history, and I this is something like I would enjoy playing all as quite a bit.
All right. Well, uh, here's a question: would you consider the Muppets to be live action?
I suppose because human characters do appear in Muppet shows.
But is Miss Piggy live action, or she's a puppet?
God,
Leaving that,
that's I
let's push that question
guess.
to the side and say it's a TV show. I mean, sure they have movies, but they started out as a TV show. But now I'm going to
Mhm.
talk about a live action movie character. And there's several
Yeah.
good ones that you could pull from for a Disney roster. But the one I think most people would put
Mhm.
is Captain Jack Sparrow.
Ah,
We got pirate.
yes.
Like, I don't even need to describe how this man would fight. You know. He's pirate man. He's here. Don't worry about it. Captain Jack Sparrow on the list.
There you go. There you go. Those movies were indicative of a time. I really enjoyed them
And they
during
started out
during
as
that
a
era.
theme
Yeah.
park ride.
Yeah.
Like Disney has tried to make a few movies based off their theme park rides. Like they tried to make Haunted Mansion happen twice, and it didn't work out either time. But Pirates blew the fuck up.
It's funny because I enjoyed quite a bit actually both Haunted Mansion movies, but I guess I'm in the minority.
I
Uh,
I watched both of them in preparation for this, and
mhm.
I realized partway through watching the originals, like, oh my god, I've seen this before. I remember this.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe yeah. Eddie Murphy will make it onto the roster another day. Actually, he would make it onto the roster in the Universal. Anyway, um, yeah, very strong choice. I mean, he does. He appears in a lot of the Disney crossover games happening now, like the kart racer and all the other shit. So, yeah, solid choice. Solid choice. Uh, I'll go live action, I suppose, which for me means that we're going to veer into properties that previously weren't owned by Disney. Uh, LucasArts, you say? Who from LucasArts would make sense in a Disney fighting game?
I mean, there is one name that comes to mind, and if they're not
Yeah,
here, then you fucked up.
yeah, and we may as well throw the cowl off now, or put it on because he has one. It's Darth Vader.
Gotta have him. If you're including
Uh,
anything from Star Wars, you need Vader slash Anakin. I would
mhm,
put Vader over Anakin, but it's like that is like sure, he's not like there's Luke, there's Yoda, but Darth
mhm.
Vader is Star Wars.
He's who I mean, multi generational thing. It's he's such a cultural phenomenon. Like people from the 70s, 80s, our parents, our grandparents know this character. In the same breath as they know Mickey Mouse. He's that level, and I agree that he surpasses Yoda and other choices. So there may be other LucasArts stuff here. Yes, there is. There will be at least one other that I'll be talking about later. But he was the first, and I think he's just one of those things. You have to rip that band-aid off and be like, he's here, obviously done. There you go. And yeah, he would be badass.
Yeah.
He would be great to have.
Uh
And he was badass in Soul Calibur too, and etc.
Soul Calibur 4, I believe.
Oh, it was four. That's right. Two was
2 was Link,
Link, Spawn,
Spawn,
and
and Heihachi.
Heihachi. Right.
Who was
Okay.
back from the dead, by the way. Herodotus is like, oh no, yeah, Heihachi's dead. He's not coming back in Tekken 8. He's for sure dead. Oh, by the way, he's the latest DLC character. Gotcha. It's like, what?
What?
Yeah, you didn't see this? Yeah,
No. Oh wow.
Heihachi got announced as DLC for Tekken 8. And everybody's just like, you lied to us. You told us he was never coming back. He was dead for good. It's like, and you believed me? Rookie
So I have
mistake.
I have many questions about like where does he fit into the story now that they're moving on to
Uh,
Kazuya being the big bad? Where
honestly,
does he like? Yeah.
honestly, I feel like for like Street Fighter, Tekken, and all these things, like I only care about the story with the base game characters. Characters that are coming in this
Mhm.
DLC, fuck it. Who gives a shit if
That's
about them
true.
being sorts? Like you're just doing the character to character. Like Street Fighter is also bringing back M Bison as their DLC, who was also thought to
Hmm.
be dead. And I'm just like people are just like, man, why do you
I'm
keep bringing these characters back? They're like they're dead. It's like I think the problem
yeah.
that both Capcom and Namco have is that they're granted, we don't know what Namco is necessarily doing with. We don't know what either of them necessarily doing with the characters. It's like, don't worry about the main dev. If they're DLC, you don't gotta explain shit. They're just there.
And
Just roll with
I
it.
hope they explain Bison though because he looks so different. He's gonna play
He,
differently.
oh yeah,
Interesting. Hmm. Heihachi, he's looking good for falling into a pitiful lava.
yeah.
I wonder if Ishizuka is still they're still using his voice clips or what. Okay, cool.
No, no,
Interesting. Yeah,
but
I'll have to check this out later.
yeah. So I was planning on going off Disney for my next pick, and then you kind of beat me to the punch with Darth Vader. So I think I'm just gonna call this one simple and be like, yeah, Darth Vader is obviously also on my roster. You go for Star Wars, you go for Darth Vader.
Hmm.
And maybe there will
Oh,
be
well, there
more.
he is.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
But Darth Vader, absolutely, he's got to be there.
totally, totally. Okay, easy enough. Makes sense. I will. Let's return to the realm of Disney for a sec. Classic um, Disney movie characters. Um, who do I want to go for next out of this whole little? You know what? I'll go with this. Thinking about a character who is more of a bruiser type, more built like a Bowser or Donkey Kong. I wanted something like that, and it was interesting to say, oh, this is a hero, although not everyone in their story thought he was at first because of the way that he looks and is
Hey,
perceived. And
let's
I
not talk
was
about Goofy like that. There's nothing wrong with how Goofy looks.
there was only something wrong with how he danced in that one episode of House of Mouse or whatever it was, the 3D one.
Max did Goofy dirty.
In the Goofy movie, he sure did. There won't be enough high dad soup to make up for that. Although there was, because Goofy is a good father.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I was terrified of this as a child because I was 4. It's the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Indeed he
There you
is.
go.
There you go.
Uh, there you go. Again, I mean, for the play style you can get out of him, I think he would be pretty unique compared to other people on the roster. And again, it's just another classic character. It's one that it's one of those reliable ones. You go to the well, you're like, oh, it's Beast. You're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like if you're looking at all of Disney, you're just like, okay, I need a character that is a big brawler bruiser. Beast is the
Hmm.
first character you look at.
Yeah,
100%. Are there
yeah,
other
yeah,
options? Yes. But Beast is number one.
yeah. And he's a way to represent those princess movies that Disney's been known for classically without going back into that well all the time. Be like, here's a princess, here's a princess, here's a princess.
Yeah.
So yeah, there he is.
All right. Oh, let's see. Where do I want to go next? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with a hmm, you know what? No, we're gonna take another step away from Disney. We did Darth Vader. I'm gonna do another thing. Not Lucasfilm. It's Marvel time. It's Marvel.
Okay.
Uh, there are so many good characters that Marvel has. I wanted to limit it because otherwise, listen, I've made Marvel's Capcom rosters already. I've done that. So for this, I had to really hone it in and think about what characters, MCU or narrowly adjacent, I can just narrow it down to what is the most important pieces for Marvel.
It's
And there
difficult.
are, yeah, there's it's hard. It's hard.
Hmm.
A lot of people would have different answers for this question. Like
I
who would
imagine
you
we
narrow
will.
it down to? We very well may.
Yeah.
Um, I am going to be revealing. Where are they? There they are. The most popular superhero of all time, Spider-Man.
There he is.
And no, this is
There
not
he
having to do with
is.
my jokes about wanting to make a Spider-Man Smash moveset. This has nothing to do with Spidops. Okay? There's nothing to do with that.
Spine Ops
But
will get his
Spider-Man
chance another
would
day.
fit so well into a game like this. He's extremely popular as a comic book character. Uh, and the Tom Holland version has been doing well. You might have people argue about that. You might have people going like, Spider-Man is your Marvel pick. I would say this is my only Marvel pick. Sit the fuck down. But Spider-Man is who I'm revealing first.
Makes sense. You know what? I'll dip into the Marvel well too. I had similar issues to you. There are obviously so many characters that would fit this roster from that world, and I had to really pare it down. I had thoughts to myself like, what is a good number for Marvel characters to land on? Because obviously there's going to be more than one, but what is the cap? Um, and I think that's a great segue into the revealing my first Marvel character, Captain America.
Specifically, the Sam Wilson version.
Yes, Captain Falcon. Disney gets its own Captain Falcon. Yeah. So I mean, with it, assuming that this game dropped tomorrow, Sam Wilson is the most relevant Captain America we have. He is the presiding Captain America of the MCU. We're gonna have Brave New World come out in the next few months here. What, like 6 months?
I don't know.
Um, it's in February, so whatever that is from the time the episode comes out.
Sure, 6 months
Like,
sounds ish.
okay, so yeah, and he's not a super soldier, but this offers itself well to developing a unique moveset to the character. Someone who has this ability of perhaps free flight to an extent with his wings, who can still throw the shield. Um, it's and who has the drone who I'm forgetting the name of. So
Red
yeah,
Wing.
it's Red Wing. That's right. That's right. So there, it's a different take on Cap, and I'm interested in representing that because yeah, we've seen Steve Rogers in Marvel vs. Capcom before. This is an opportunity to do something a little different.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to Disney for me. We're going with a cult classic, Jack Skellington from The Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas. People
Yeah.
fucking love this movie. He got a world in Kingdom Hearts. He's been both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Uh,
Mhm.
Halloween Town is such a good backdrop. You could do a really good stage of Halloween Town. Like, I don't think all these movies would I give a stage to. And there are some movies that I'll give a stage to that I didn't give a character to. But
Right.
Jack Skellington and Halloween Town, I feel like you you gotta have these things in here.
Mhm. That threw me off for the briefest of second because there were Halloween Town movies that had nothing to do with.
Oh God! I
Uh,
mean, those are Disney,
yeah, imagine
and
it's like,
I've
oh,
watched
I
them.
reveal, yeah, I reveal Marnie. What?
No, 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 no.
Oh my god. Oh man, that I just thought of someone else I could have put on this roster that's not there. We threw away from
Type
that.
it to me.
Oh
Type it
well.
to me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That would also fit the same similar vibe of cult classic. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Too bad. One of them, probably the main one,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Okay. I have Jack Skellington on my list too. It makes sense to just say here he is for all the same reasons you mentioned. Um, yeah, Danny Elfman, good, memorable musical film.
Okay.
Except for the Demon Children, I hated those ones. I Oogie Boogie was great. The little evil kids very annoying. I hated their song. Got stuck in my head too much.
You know, Jono, I gotta be real with you. I got a complaint. I got a complaint, sir, and it's a complaint against you.
Oh, I thought it was about my
Because
not hearing me or something.
no, 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 no. My complaint is that there's just so many times, both on this show and just in general conversation, where you throw off my groove. Cusco
Ah!
is on my roster. Let's fucking go. Emperor's New Groove, amazing movie. Get the llama in this game.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob, that could be my favorite Disney movie.
It's a
That
damn
could
good.
be.
Why is it not? It's the biggest thing that should be in Kingdom Hearts. It's not. And I said biggest. It's more like this is the biggest mistake they've made by not including Emperor's New Groove yet. Like, come on.
They could have had a portion of that world involve Sora and Donald and Goofy all turning into llamas.
Yes. Or turning into multiple different animals during a boss fight, like either against Yzma or some whacked out Heartless or something.
Hmm. The squirrel language would have hit too.
Pink squeakers.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love that movie. I'm all for that. What would the stage be? Cusco-topia?
I don't know if I would probably do Yzma's Lab.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um Here in the 100-Acre Wood,
Oh,
Christopher Robin plays. Uh and so do we as Winnie the Pooh.
okay.
When when honey goes bad.
Oh,
Oh, like
oh, that one.
that fucking horror movie. I remember that Blood and Honey, they called it.
I do not have that image made up. Would have been funny, but I didn't make
No,
that
no.
gag happen.
There's a sequel
Mm,
One of the most critically reviled films of all time. And they're like they made so much money just by making a stupid shit Winnie the Pooh parody.
Jesus. I
Yeah,
mean, how many
Winnie the Pooh.
Sharknadoes do we have?
Oh, that's a good question. I watched the first one. It
I'm
was
sorry.
funny. Six. There are
There's
six
six?
Sharknadoes.
I knew there were four, but six?
The last one came out in 2018. It's called The Last Sharknado. It's about time.
Okay. All right.
Sharknado 2 was called Sharknado 2, the second one.
That's weird.
And yes, it
Anyways,
is.
uh, you know what's something that we both kind of like sometimes?
Winnie the Pooh.
Chaos.
Oh, yes.
Control. Wait, no. Wrong thing. Uh, Chaos Gremlins in particular. And you know who's the most Chaos Gremlin of any Disney character to Chaos Gremlin?
Probably Stitch.
Stitch.
Whoa, okay. There you
Yeah,
go.
easy choice for me. Easy fucking choice. Stitch was an early inclusion on my roster. Actually, I feel like most of the ones I revealed so far were among my first editions.
Nice.
I think
Not
Spider-Man wasn't just because like I didn't know what to commit with Marvel. So I
mhm.
was like, I don't know. But yeah.
What about Ruben?
Who?
Experiment 65, the one
Oh,
who
I
is
forgot. I forgot
the
they had names. I forgot the other
yeah,
ones got names. The sandwich
the
one.
yellow one. Yeah, he eats sandwiches.
Ruben
It's
can be
so
an assist
relatable.
trophy. There's some things on here. It's like you're not on my roster, so you can be an assist trophy. Sure, fuck it. Why not?
So many of these, like Stitch's cousins look like Neopets. Actually, now that I'm looking
Actually,
at
if
them,
I was picking an assist trophy from Lilo and Stitch, I would pick the electric one. That'd be my assist
Sparky,
trophy. Sure, I don't remember their
yeah,
names.
and Agent Bubbles.
Okay,
Um,
it's
yeah,
Cobra
yes, Stitch is
Bubbles.
on my Cobra. Yes, Stitch is on my roster too. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I think. All right, so you did something from here.
Mhm.
Back in the Hundred Acre Wood, I also have a character from Winnie the Pooh, but I don't have
It-
Winnie the Pooh because to me he wasn't the character I envisioned best working out as a fighter from that
oh,
property. Hmm.
Fat Rabbit.
Rabbit would be a good choice, but I actually went with Tigger. I could see Tigger. He's gonna be moving around, jumping, probably have some of the
Yeah.
best jumps in the game. He got his own movie. Yeah, I picked Tigger for a Winnie the Pooh rep.
Okay. Yeah. Winnie would be very off kilter. Have to dig into some like weird stuff to make it happen. Like, oh, he eats honey to restore health, and then what?
What?
haven't quite haven't quite worked that out. I guess he can leave you in a honey trap and make you very sticky.
Sure.
But yeah, Tigger is a sound choice. The voice actor. Oh, Jim. That's right. Jim Cummings voices them both. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Good choice. Uh, let's see. I'm just kind of scouring to see what we're doing next here. Okay, I've got one for you that it's a we talked about squirrels earlier a bit at length. These characters are could be mistaken for squirrels, but they're not. They're chipmunks. I have Chip and Dale on my roster.
We got a nice Claimers duo.
Precisely it, and that's why they made it in. Looking at the more vintage, Disney TV cartoons and movies, like, oh, they would be fun too. And they have video games from back in the day to pull from as well. There was an NES game that was pretty decent and hard that they were a part of. Um, and yeah, just they also had a really actually good Roger Rabbit esque movie a
Yeah,
year or two
that was
ago.
one of the missing Disney movies that I watched in preparation for this. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, and they had ugly Sonic in there, the original Sonic the Hedgehog movie designed for the
Oh, they
character.
did. They
Just
did.
it was yeah, talking about the multiverse and whatever. What about all the fucking cameos in that movie? That was something else.
Mm-hmm.
Um they did a solid job. It was a good movie. They're slightly back in the limelight. I don't know how much of a splash it really made, but it was fun. They have callbacks, all the classic shows, whatever. There you go. There you go. We got ourselves a fun duo character. And I imagine that they would work very similar to Ice Climbers, maybe swapping costume swaps, which of the two are in front of leading the charge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I've given you a Lucasfilm. I've given you a Marvel. It's time for me to give you a Fox character.
Okay.
And there were a few different Fox properties that I was considering, but one, even though I don't care for it, stood above the rest. It was like, if I'm including Fox, I have to include The Simpsons. And I don't like The Simpsons. It's not my kind of show. It's not my kind of humor. All these adult cartoons, Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama, any of them, they're just not my thing. But if we're giving Fox attention, I gotta give something from The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
And there were three characters that I was considering. It's either Homer, Bart, or Lisa. And Lisa kind of quickly dropped to the side because Homer and Bart are like the main two. It's like
Mm-hmm.
both of them would fit well. Both of them would be good comedy. And it's literally a coin flip on who to choose. And I flipped it once or twice before I finally
Yeah.
just locked in with Bart Simpson.
Oh, nice. Um, can, any insight on why you chose him over Homer, or?
Uh, because he's more active movement wise as a character,
All right.
really.
Yeah, that makes
And this
sense.
also
That makes
gives us
sense.
another smaller sized character.
Also true. Okay. Well, that works well because the Simpsons character I chose is Homer.
Perfect.
There you go. Father and son return again, just like you and I.
No.
Um, Poppy and Child, they call us. Um, yeah, and he's such a goofy character. I think back to Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a beloved cult classic video game that riffs off of GTA. Just give the man a car and a donut and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Simpsons. I did enjoy Futurama. I wanted to find a reason to include something from that here. It's like no way. Like if you're going for any of these adult cartoons, it's going to be The Simpsons. They started it all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Next for me, we're going back to the House of Mouse.
Okay.
We got Mickey, but I also need me some Goofy.
Yuck,
Get some
yuck.
wacky waving arms.
Yeah,
Represent I
yeah.
also want a stage from the Goofy movie. I don't know what it would be if it's like that weird rat themed animatronics place that he wanted to take Max to. That might be the stage, or it's the stage of like the music concert at the end with what was his name, Power Glove or something, Power something I
Power
think,
power line.
Power
Power
Line.
line. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think one of those is the obvious stage, or you just do like the car as they're driving on the road. It is going through different things. It's like a touring stage or something. Could easily do that. I'd probably pick the
Yeah.
rat place because I think that's the funniest curse shit you could do.
I forgot about that until you fucking mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love a Goofy movie. That's one of my favorites. Um, God, remember when Goofy dies in Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah.
And there's just some serious deadpan, like Donald crying over Goofy's dead body. Like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't know, man. They were on something.
I mean, then he's not dead, obviously, but I mean, for like 10 minutes, it's like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Goofy's on my list too.
Okay.
He has to be there. There are characters that just have to be there, so there he is. Oh god.
I'm gonna go to Pixar now. I'm gonna pick a Pixar
Yep.
character that I don't think most would expect. Actually, wait. Do I want to do this character yet? Yeah. No. You know what? Instead, I'm gonna pivot. I'll do that character later. They can be a tease. Um, I'm gonna do. This feels early. I'm gonna do one of my. Man, I am just caught myself in debate because I feel like I've teased most of the things, and now if I start saying where I'm going to go, it's going to reveal something. So instead, I'm going to just pivot, do something completely different. I'm going with a popular character. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily popular. I'm going with a character that I have saw somebody. I saw people talking recently and saying that this awakened the furry generation, and I'm going with Robin
Oh
Hood.
god.
I'm not picking him because of that, but that was the lead-in that quickly came to my mind.
Yeah.
So our anthropomorphic fox man of Robin Hood, he got the bow, he got the arrow, he got the funky little hat. He's here.
Good movie. All things, all other things aside.
Yeah.
Okay, I have something from Pixar that I think would complement him well, and that is Merida from Brave.
Ah. I
She
would
has the
have
bow
considered
and
her if I
arrow, and
didn't have Robin Hood. It's like that's kind of one of those like it's
yeah,
one or the other.
same. And that's where my mindset was. I thought of Robin Hood and settled on her. Um, Not one of my favorite Pixar movies. I think it fell a little flat for me. But it's cute. She has a bow as well, and be her primary thing. I think she has a sword as well, if I remember. And the power of having a bear family. That yeah, there you go.
Those those
And
brothers.
and also yeah, also kind of a more modern princess. That's not the damsel in distress. So that's cool.
Right.
Hmm.
I am going to do Pixar now. Not the character I was going to do before. I'm going to save them. Uh, I'm going to look at The Incredibles. I think The Incredibles is it was a great Pixar movie, very well done. People fucking loved it. Its sequel was also really good in my opinion. The problem with The Incredibles is there are several good characters to choose from. Mr. Incredible,
Hmm.
obviously. Elastigirl, obviously. And at one point, I had Elastigirl written down.
Hmm.
She's on my roster at one point. And then I was going back through it. I was going through like different categories, archetypes of
Hmm.
characters that I have on my roster, and rebalance things. And I realized, hmm, I'm going to swap out Elastigirl. And I swapped her
Okay.
out for Syndrome. I was like, I want another villain. I'm going
Yeah.
to bring Syndrome on the roster.
Yeah.
I still get to represent a movie that I felt needed representation. I just changed who it would be.
Nice. Did you see the second film?
I did.
I haven't yet, which I feel is a disservice because so many people said it's really good.
I enjoyed it.
Um, okay, I'll check it out sooner than later. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, Syndrome is a crazy bastard. He would be a great character to play as.
Hmm.
Cool. Um, let me. I was also considering Elastigirl for a while. She was on my roster until you had asked me a little bit ago, a week ago or so, to make some replacements if I wanted to. Um, and I replaced her with Miss Marvel,
That's
Kamala
not who.
Khan.
That's not who you replaced.
I'm pretty sure.
You
Or
you
who
you
was it?
replaced somebody else for Miss Marvel.
Oh, well, in my head,
I
it
guess
now
you
makes
kind of
more sense
replaced
because it's
both of them
gonna
for Ms.
say,
Marvel in a way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because she, in the comics has very similar powers. I mean, she's essentially an
A stretchy.
Elastigirl, a Reed Richards, yeah, a stretchy person. They changed it in the Disney Plus show, which is fine. I'm cool with it. I think it makes sense because they're having a character with very similar powers come on soon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I kind of shiver to imagine what that might have looked like with her stretching her limbs on the budget they had for this show. Um, but yeah, it's a callback to her culture too. The gin and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, instead of stretchy limbs, she still can stretch out with her kind of like magic mutant capabilities. So there she is, kind of a fresh face to represent the TV side of Marvel, and also the Marvels, which was a movie. It's not as bad as people say it is. I'll say that much.
I liked it. But then again, like
Me
I've
too.
liked the majority of Marvel. Like, yeah, there are some things that were comparatively not as good, but I've liked the
Yeah,
MCU. It's good
it was
time.
it was it. Me too. Me too. It was a good film. It was not bad. It was not amazing. It was good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, uh, I mentioned that I made one cut before we got to this point. I cut a very childhood biased fan figure pick. I cut Todd from Fox and the Hound. And I was very, very sad that I had to do that. Honestly, there were other characters that I could have cut, but they were me being Mimi Chaos Gremlin, and I wanted to keep them. Spoiler, I'm using the word them. There's more than one Chaos Gremlin. What the fuck did you do pick here? I'll get to them later. But I cut Todd for a couple reasons. One, his movie's not as well known. It's not one of the more popular older movies. And two, I have other four-legged animal characters that I thought could do the job
Mhm.
better, i.e., Simba.
Yeah.
Compared to Simba to Todd, sure, Todd would be more of an agile one, but I just didn't think there was enough room there for differentiation. So I cut him to make room for a character from a movie that I think is uh, underloved. I think it did get a sequel, but as happens with most Disney animated sequels, they're not great. But I wanted to include Kida from Atlantis The Lost Empire.
Sick. Okay. Cool. And how do you spell that? Oh, Kida.
Yeah, Kida.
That's right. That's right. This is such an easy choice for them to do a live action adaptation of. Don't be cowards, Disney. Do something fresh. Why are we getting Moana when it just came out like 6 years ago
And
as a
they're
live
also doing
action?
a Moana sequel at the same time. It's like, what is happening? Like, not that I'm saying a Moana sequel is bad, but it's like, why are we doing live action Moana and Moana 2 at the same time? This makes no sense from a marketing perspective.
The Rock is like, listen, I need some money.
I mean, yeah, that's probably it.
And you can't kill me off in anything I am in ever. Or no, have me lose a fight. It was. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's so dumb.
It's like, okay, no wonder Black Adam. I mean, that contributed to it not being a good film. But anyway, that's off topic. Um, this let's see. Uh, okay, this is kind of a more in the weeds kind of pick here, but I feel like the movie had a cultural impact that wasn't as felt. But now it's being adapted into a Disneyland ride rather recently. So you know what? It's Doctor Facilier from Princess and the Frog.
Oh, I didn't know I was getting a Disney ride.
Yeah, they had some old. There's an old film that was had issues.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and they replaced its ride with Princess and the Frog.
That's honestly a really good replacement.
Yes, it is. Oh, Song of the South. How could we
Yeah,
fucking forget?
that's the one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They
oh
replaced
boy,
it. Yeah. So yeah, I think that he's a really strong villain character, like Syndrome that you went for
he's
The Incredibles.
fun.
I mean,
It's like I
yeah,
hadn't watched Princess
he's
from the Frog until I did it for
yeah,
preparation for this episode. I was like, he's a fun
yeah,
character.
yeah. He's very fun, very flamboyant, very boisterous. His personality on him, but also like the voodoo magic
Mm-hmm.
that no other character of note anyway in Disney can really take advantage of. It's like okay, he was one of the characters I swapped in at the last minute. Like, and it's like I'm glad I thought of that because I think he's a really good choice.
Oh yeah, easily.
So there he is.
All right, so let's talk Beauty and the Beast.
Let's.
Beauty and the Beast is one
Lumiere,
of the
what are you doing
movies.
here?
Be- no, God, can you imagine? Jesus. But no, Beauty and the Beast is one of the movies that I had in mind when I said like, here's a movie that I need to have represented, but there are multiple characters that you can consider. And it's just like, okay, I need to wait until I'm further in to be like, who do I go for? So Beast is on the table. Gaston was on the table. Belle was on the
Hmm.
table. We got big brawler hero. We got brawler villain, uh who could also do some funny poses. And we have Belle, who I kind of thought with Belle she could do like summoning attacks, kind of like the idea with Snow White, but she would be like
You can
summoning
read.
Lumiere or Mrs. Potts or just like random silverware. The wardrobe could appear and smack its door open. I thought those would be funny things. Um, but I didn't do the Beast because I thought there were other big brawler, even bestial characters that I thought of. I was like that I thought I could do, but if I did Beast, I couldn't do them. And I didn't do
Hmm.
Gaston because, well,
Fuck
let's
Gaston.
yeah, fuck Gaston. And then I didn't do Belle.
You did her dad.
I did I did a thing. I did Lumiere and Cogsworth as a duo fighter.
What the fuck?
That's fucking right. I went there. They are
Spoken
you
into
have Chip and
reality.
Dale, I have Lumiere and Cogsworth. They are a duo together because it's fucking funny.
Oh my god.
And it works. It would
Yeah,
work.
yes, I will give you that. It would work. That the fucking bait and switch. I had a feeling after you're like, could you imagine?
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, son of a bitch, shut the fuck up.
I'm very curious about getting into the weeds on the character and figuring out how it would work exactly. But you know, I know we have a lot more characters to go, so I won't get into it. But that's great. That is, I love that for you. It is a choice that you have made, and I support it in many ways.
And I still have more chaos to come.
Very good.
This was just the I don't know which one of them is the tip of the iceberg, but this is just one.
Okay. In the meantime, in the meantime, I have God, from the fan favorite film, uh, Parisian crafted Ratatouille. It's a duo character in a sense, but not really. It's Remy and Linguini.
Okay.
Remy is controlling everything Linguini does, and he's using a variety of cutlery and cookware and food items, and it's a very kitchen esque move set that's a little offbeat and will make you hungry for more.
Hungry, hungry hippos.
One could say hungry rats handling all your food.
All right.
Rac-
So I said Beast
Raccoon.
isn't my big brawler bestial character. So who do you think I have in that slot? Just take a guess.
Wreck-It Ralph.
You know, that wasn't who I had in mind, but he is on my roster, so fuck it. I'll just reveal him now. That wasn't the
Okay.
plan, but sure. Wreck-It Ralph, yeah. Great choice. Amazing movie. The second movie was not as good, but it was still enjoyable. But hey, look, here we have a video game adjacent. He's technically a video game character. Technically,
Yeah, in a
his
very
world
meta
is
way.
in video games. He knows Cubert. He knows M
Yeah,
Bison.
yeah, he knows Bowser.
Yeah, and like you have a ready-made thing to build him off of. It's just so easy. Got Wreck-It Ralph for sure, easy. Give me the Wreck-It
Hey, I
Ralph
got
world
him.
in Kingdom Hearts 4.
Please do. I've got him on my roster too.
Oh, well, that's easy then.
There you go. There you go.
So, Jono, I said that Beast wasn't my big brawler bestial character. Uh, who do you think I have
Yes.
instead?
Um. Hmm. Kronk.
No, I already have Kuzco to represent that movie. Also, he's not
Oh,
bestial. You're missing the hint on bestial.
Beast Shield. Pete.
You know, I really wanted to have Pete. I did. And if I had more slots, he would be back in contention. But I don't have Pete. Instead, this character is one that I don't think would make most people's rosters. I don't think most people would think of this character. Part of it is because their movie didn't do well. And part of it is because the movie released during COVID. I'm including, to some idiot's chagrin, fuck, what was their movie
Oh,
called? Wait, shit, I forgot what it was
oh,
called. I want to get the
from
title
Turning Red.
correct. Thank you. May from Turning Red.
Ha! That's
This
cool.
is my bestial brawler character. Like their entrance would be them like transforming from like small maids like the big red panda form. And here we have like this
Hmm.
large beast that can do the big brawling type attacks. You can even have like some moments where like they actually will go back down to normal form and then pop back out as beast form later. You could do something
Yeah.
with that with some attacks. I wouldn't make it like I wouldn't make it like a stance change or something. Just like some attacks would just do this. But yeah,
Yeah.
I thought May would be a fun one to have, and let me do a different kind of beast character besides just having the beast.
Yeah, I haven't watched Turning Red. You're right. It was just kind of a
I
product
liked it. It
of the
was
era.
good. And like people were complaining
Yeah.
about how it was like, oh, you're teaching little girls to not obey their parents. It's like, I'm sorry, do you think that your little girls obey you? Do you not they do this is what the teenage girls do. You are crazy, mothers. This is what your teenage children do.
People people were very there were the vocal minority always gets upset about a woke mod.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I hate that I have a that this is a coming of age story for a girl, and oh, what is the double entendre for Turning Red, and blah blah blah. It's like, fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck
Just because you
off.
don't want to
you
talk
know
about it doesn't mean it's not real.
yeah, what the fuck. I try not to say too much to the, just to keep the podcast going and smoothly, but that crowd is
Eat
not
shit.
welcome here anyway. So fuck off. Yeah, I would like to watch the movie. It did suffer from coming out in that time and just like chaos, but yeah, that Luca, I missed out on a few. Um, okay. I mean, this gives me an idea of where to go next. Back into the world of television for Disney. I also have a transforming character, who turns into a giant red creature, and it's American Dragon Jake Long.
This is one that I'm so glad that you have because I wanted to include him. but
Hmm.
with how limited I already made my TV show slots be, there was no fucking way I was going to be able to include Jake Long, but I really
Yeah,
wanted
and
to.
he's a very underrated character, you know, from that like mid 2000s burst of just Disney throwing a wall at everything and saying like, oh, you get 3 seasons of a show, and there were some that eventually surpassed it, like Impossible, but this wasn't one of them. And they had a weird art style shift halfway through the show, and but it was a fun little thing. And Jake Long is a Chinese American kid who grows up knowing martial arts, and transfers that into his dragon form. He is fighting like kung fu style as a dragon while
Yeah,
shooting fire and flying around. It was fun. I mean, I haven't ever really returned to that well. I don't know how it holds up, but at the time, I really enjoyed it. Um, and I wanted to make that nod. There were other dragon characters to consider, but he guilty pleasure appeared towards the top of my list for that consideration, and here he is.
of course. All right, let's dip out of Disney for a quick second. Let's go back to
Yep.
Lucasfilm. We've got Darth Vader, but who else can we have? Well, if we've got a Sith, I feel like we should have a Jedi.
Okay.
But which? But which? I mean, honest, in all truthfulness, there's not many that I would consider a strong option here. I think your options are Luke, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, or Yoda. And
Or
obviously it's Yoda, because I revealed him on the screen already.
shit. I thought it was Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Fuck no. If I'm gonna go with a random Jedi, I'm gonna go with my biased pick of either Kit Fisto or Plo Koon, because they are cool. But no,
Plo
Yoda.
Koon.
Uh,
Hell
like
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
like any the other Jedi I mentioned, like any of them, you could make a good argument for. But like I'm Yoda, easy. Yoda is the most Yoda, Luke are like the most representative Jedi characters of the whole franchise. But
Hmm.
I didn't want to do Luke versus Vader,
Hmm.
so I did Yoda. And
Yeah.
also Yoda's another character that's like a different size.
Yeah. Also appeared in Soul Calibur before.
True. But I
There he
don't
is.
have the third Star Wars character from Soul Calibur 4 on here. There is no Star Killer.
Yeah. There's no Star Killer in Disney canon either.
Yeah,
There's the
currently.
base. There's the base. Yeah. We'll see. But yeah. Sorry you got the shaft, old buddy. Um. Okay. I was thinking about going that route too. Next, with Lucas Arts, I may as well go Star Wars here. Yeah, I had the same mindset. Like, you may as well compliment with a Jedi. It's certainly a big enough franchise to warrant it. And I went Ahsoka. A more, a slightly more recent character who has persisted as the face of like animated Star Wars for a good amount of time now.
Easily.
Really developed into a great character. Um, from an annoying little shit Padawan into one of the best, quote Jedi unquote, because I don't think that she currently is.
No, she technically
Um,
never finished. She was kicked out
yeah.
while she was still a Padawan.
Mhm. Yeah, and she just kind of developed her own style, fighting with uh, dual blades occasionally, which is cool. Um, and she has a couple of really epic fights with Darth Vader slash Anakin throughout all of Star Wars. Um, that I wanted to make that nod to by having her master playable and her. So here we are.
All right. I don't feel like going back to Disney just yet. I added a second from Lucasfilm. Now we're going with the second from Marvel. And this is probably where people were going like, oh, okay, good. So it's not just Spider. I already told you that. Were you not paying attention? Christ. But no, now I'm gonna go to like Spider-Man, I think you would say he's like um how do I want to word this? Like, okay, so the old school, new school kind of deal, but I think Spider-Man is like somewhere solidly in the middle as far as MCU is concerned.
Mhm.
So next, I'm going to have somebody from the old school side of it,
Yeah.
and there are two options, in my opinion, between
Okay.
Captain America and Iron Man. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
poof, choosing one over the other. That's oh boy, but I did it, and I did Captain America, the original. Which is why I thought it
Nice.
was really amusing when you gave me the Sam Wilson version. I was just like, oh, that's great, because I've got Steve Rogers.
Nice. Now we just need Isaiah Bradley in there.
Well, there's more than just them, but as far as MCU wise, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love Steve's Captain America. Obviously, a great all around fighter. And a great choice.
Yeah.
Iron Man would have been too, but you know that perhaps he could be represented in other ways, like Doctor Doom.
And actually, I'm going to amend something. Spider-Man is going to be is my new school pick. I don't have
Hmm.
a other new school pick that's newer than Spider-Man for my Marvels.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, Captain America's the old, Spider-Man's the new. I did not include Ms. Marvel, but she was on my short list.
Nice. I'm going to go back to the Marvel well here, um, because you had mentioned the new school and the old school and this and that. Um, I do. I have a character that's technically very recent to the MCU, even though they've been around for uh 20-ish years in film, and that is Wolverine.
All right.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
made their MCU debut technically. Like it's multiverse, but
mhm, mhm. Phenomenal movie.
oh god,
Deadpool and
yeah.
Wolverine was like so good.
Fuck.
Um, yeah, the most fun I've had in a movie theater all year, easily. Uh, really memorable film. So yeah, I think there's going to be a staying power to the Jackman's Wolverine for a while. Obviously, we'll get another Wolverine in the future. He's such an iconic X-Men character. Blah blah blah. So I figured he'd work here, and he's a pretty in your face fighter. Like it obviously works. So hooray.
Yep. Easy.
Easy peasy. He just a peg below Spider-Man and Cap. Like he's up there.
Yeah. For my so with this next character, we will be ending the first half of our rosters. Character
Wow.
25 is coming up. And this character originally I was thinking about talking about later. But then for a couple of reasons, like I need to do them a little bit sooner because they kind of said I need to talk about them so I can talk about a different character later on. And also, this character, well, it's going to be amusing
Yeah.
for reasons that were brought up before. Ah, buddy, I thought I was like, I didn't want to watch this movie. I was just like, when people tell you it's like, oh, you should watch blah 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 because it's a classic. That just makes me not want to watch it. But for this, I watched it and I was just like, you know what? Not necessarily because I enjoyed the movie, not saying that I didn't like it, but because of how people react with this. I was like, I gotta have Winifred Sanderson.
God
Jono,
damn it.
you were earlier we were talking about Jack Skeleton. You were like, "Oh man, I should have had this." And I told you type it to me. You said the Sanderson sisters. I'm just like, "Oh, you buddy, you better just wait." Because she's here. Both Disney Halloween icons are here, and fittingly enough, they actually fit out to be right next to each other on the roster.
That's an amazing pick. I really wish I had thought of that, but she's here,
Winifred
so it doesn't work
Sanderson
better.
also is the reason why
Yeah,
another character is not on the roster. I dropped
interesting.
them because of her.
Wow. Okay, another witch, perhaps. Um. Wow.
Witch
Yeah.
Rage. Great book. I read it as a child.
I ate there once. Um, yeah, nice. I am floored. I because that is so far away from like what you would watch. I wouldn't have
Correct.
suspected it. But you know what? I really enjoyed Hocus Pocus, and I really enjoyed the second one too. I thought they were fun, campy TV movies. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with them. They're funny. So yeah, cool, fun, good. I'm almost jealous.
You should
Ha!
be.
What a choice. But and yeah, there she is. For my 25th choice, I'll have to make this count, and I don't have. Yeah, there's not a lot on my roster that can just warrant that chaos, but so I'll give you something that feels like a flagship. We mentioned that video game characters are technically there. We had mentioned this franchise several times. This is halfway through. May as well say Sora is on my roster. Technically, there's a lot of unmapped ground you can use here. Smash really just went for Kingdom Hearts 1 in terms of the move set and what they prioritized. So you could do more from 2 and 3, and it's at all. There he is. I feel like he's a very sound character to include. If you're gonna include one Disney video game character, it is obviously him, and so it is. So it is. There he is.
Yep. Now, there is one thing I need to take note of here. And just
Hmm.
looking at how the roster image is being designed and the rules that we previously mentioned and established, Sora's is in the last category of video game characters, but he's not in the last character slot. So there is some other video game character associated with Disney that released after Kingdom Hearts
Yes,
that is
correct.
on your roster, and we don't know who that is yet. And for me, like I thought about Sora, but in my mind I was just like, there's too much other Disney for me to do. Sora can be in the sequel. I don't have room. Like it feels almost wrong, but sequel bait.
Do you not have a video game Disney character on your roster then? Is that what you're saying?
I do not have a video game character on my roster, which means you can
You didn't go
also
for
look at
the
my roster and see how many Fox characters I have, since Fox is the category right before video game characters, and there's 3 spots after Bart Simpson.
fuck. He went for Krusty the Clown.
You'll find out who I went for,
Peter Griffin.
but not yet,
Okay,
because I'm going
interesting.
to. Oh, unless you had more about Sora to talk about.
Oh no, no. I think it writes itself.
All right. I'm gonna go back to the Disney well then. Another character that is relatively more recent, although the more and more years you get away from them, the less that becomes true. But they were around ish Frozen's time, or like a few years before, maybe like 2 or 3. I'm not entirely sure, but the movie was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't know that I would, but I want you to imagine beating somebody with a frying pan and tying them up with hair because I got Rapunzel. We got Tangled in here.
I was hoping you would. I mean, it's a great underrated film.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, what else is there to say? Yeah, frying pan and hair, great combo.
Hmm.
It's almost like spaghetti, but hair.
I mean, I guess.
If you put it in the pan, that is. Yeah. Good movie. Recently rewatched it actually. Solid pick. Solid pick. Let's see. I guess we can go to the Disney well here. I'll bring up another obvious choice. Sora's good buddy, so long as he's actually healing him, it is Donald Duck.
There he is.
I can't do the voice right now. Be happy, but yeah,
Zeta
I
flare.
think.
Then he dies. Goofy died in Kingdom Hearts 2. Donald Duck dies in Kingdom Hearts 3. What the fuck's next? I mean, I guess actually everybody dies in Kingdom Hearts 3. Spoilers. Everybody dies. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Right. But pulling from again like the classic cartoons and movies that he's appeared in, and maybe some Zeta Flare, I don't know, and there he is. I think that this is a roster essential. I think Mickey, Goofy, and Donald are, they're the three Musketeers. There you go. There they are.
Yeah. I'm going to do what I think is one of the biggest. Let's change the word. One of the most iconic Disney villains. A lot of fun, campy, humorous character. Um, God, he's just funny. It's Hades. Like Hercules, I
Yeah.
could include Hercules, but I wanted a villain slot, and it's easy for me to swap from Hercules to Hades because look at this, just this guy. This guy just
Yeah.
has the personality to fit in.
Is he the best Disney villain? He might be.
He's the most entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's what
he's
I'm
like
basing it
the
off of.
best, but he's the
Yeah.
most entertaining.
Yeah. 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 And his foil is a boring, muscular boy with a sword and a Danny DeVito as a goat man who helps him train. Um,
But we like the goat
and I
man.
have, yes, but I have that boring boy who's trained by the goat man. I have Hercules on my roster.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a solid choice. It's a good foil to your Hades. I wanted Hades. I have a couple of the characters that might help fill that void a little. So I went with him. Kind of a classic choice. Not a whole lot to say about it. Not the most exciting, but it makes a whole lot of sense, and he's there.
Yep. All right. I'm going to do another personal. I mean, they're popular, but also just like I really loved this movie as a kid. What
Hmm.
easily one of my favorite Disney movies as a child, up there with Lion King. I
Hmm.
fucking loved Mulan, which is why I
Yeah.
have Shan
Yes.
Yu.
Who?
I'm kidding. I have Mulan.
Okay, that makes sense.
Listen, in some cases, yeah, I'll swap out the hero for the villain, but for somebody boring like Shan
Oh,
Yu,
right.
fuck
On
no.
you. The best thing about him is he has a evil hawk. Okay, well, I can measure at this point and say I also loved Mulan as a kid. That was a great film, and this and that, and Mulan's on my roster too.
All right.
Let's
Back to let's get back to Fox, shall we?
get back to
So,
Fox.
no.
Fox. I said Fox.
I didn't really care for this movie. I think it's more spectacle than it is actually interesting and entertaining. And the fact that it got a sequel too many years later and it's supposed to be getting like 7 fucking movies. I don't give a shit. But let's be honest, Avatar, yeah, everybody fucking loves Avatar. It's one of the highest grossing movies of all time. My choices are either Jake Sully or Neytiri, and it's not even a fucking contest. It's Neytiri. She's here. I don't care about. She's here purely because Avatar went nuts. I don't care about it. I'm moving on. Next. No disservice to the characters. I don't. The movie was not entertaining to me. It's like, oh, looky, we're just here for the space and the 3D, which wasn't even impressive.
They made
God,
such a big they made such a big deal of it at the time. The 3D, the CGI, it's the most beautiful movie you've ever seen. Blah, 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 blah.
it's
There's just
Pocahontas in space.
yes, it is, and there's benefits to that. Like it's less inherently racist, so at least there is that. But it's also did not make the splash. I'm surprised that movie made huge splash.
The
That, you know,
villain
it's
is just the Colonel from Atlantis: The Lost Empire.
also true. And Atlantis didn't do that well, unfortunately. And I never watched The Way of the Water. It just does not
Yeah,
interest
same. I
me.
did not give a
Um,
shit.
I didn't give a shit at the time, but you know, like there's something about it that made people like it, and most of my friends and family do, and I'm like, okay. Um, there's some weird distribution rights with Avatar, but I mean Disney does distribute it, so there you go, fair game. I willingly I had Neytiri on my roster until recently as well, and was like, oh well, I can use those rights as an excuse and just be like, okay. Luckily, I do have other interesting options, not from the Fox world, but going back into LucasArts for a minute here. Um, outside of Star Wars, there's also another iconic franchise that Disney has gone back to recently with Indiana Jones, and it's Indiana Jones
Has
from
the new one
you know
come out yet, or?
it was last year.
Oh,
Last year it came out.
really?
Yeah,
Wow. I don't remember seeing anything on it.
it was good. It was good. It didn't make a huge splash, but it was good. It
Okay.
was way better than the fucking Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oof.
God. Funny about that. I'll mention it later. But yeah, there he is. He's had some video games to his name too. He has one coming out that, you know, is talked about for good and bad reasons, but from Bethesda of all people. That's pretty
Oh boy.
interesting. Yeah. Um but yeah, I mean he's a classic archetypal explorer. Like he made this archetype and is such a icon. You know, I feel that his space is warranted here. And there you go.
All right. I think at this point, it's time for me to round out my House of Mouse with Donald Duck. Obviously,
Yep.
you could see from the graphic that there's only one spot left in the House of Mouse category. Uh, it's Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. That's the trio.
Hmm.
That's who I'm going with here. It just makes sense.
Yeah, totally. You know, it's a good point to say to round out my House of Mouse. I have one more member here. Oswald actually. So I have two more members than you, but I have Minnie Mouse on mine as well. Uh, not a necessity per se, but she is you know, very popular classic character, Mickey's female foil, girlfriend, whatever. Playable in many recent Disney games. Uh, yeah, I think that it's a good choice if you go that route, and I did. Bloom, boom, ba doom.
All right. Uh, she was considered on my list as well. I had both her and Pete considered into the House Mouse category. Oswald was not in consideration for me, but
Hmm.
I thought about Pete. That I had so many movies in these that I wanted to do, and since we're like past halfway point, I'll just like quickly see a few things that I didn't represent that I really wanted to. Not all of them because I have things to say about them later. Like I thought about Alice in Wonderland. I mentioned Cinderella with the fairy godmother. I considered the Black
Hmm.
Cauldron, but then I watched the movie. I was just like, oh yeah, there's really nothing for here for me to really pull
Hmm.
for. I wanted to do Fantasia with like Yin Sid or something, but I did not have the
Hmm.
room for it. I've thought about Flubber, and it would
I
have been like
forgot.
the Flubber, not like the actual
Yeah.
human character. It was just like the little green blob of Flubber. That's what I would have done.
Wow. There's a lot that I forgot they own now because of Fox. That is so.
Yeah.
That is cursed and great.
I thought I really wanted to do Goliath from the Gargoyles. I thought about Doug because Disney bought it from Nickelodeon, or there's something there with rights.
Hmm.
Uh, I considered Onward. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was considered. I thought about Free Guy. I thought that'd be funny as a Fox character. Didn't
Hmm.
happen. Predator and Xenomorph were both in
Oh
consideration.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Didn't happen, but they were in consideration. There's just so many good options, and sadly, we can't do them all.
Hmm.
But to pick it up from here, I'm gonna go with a villain next. It's one I don't really need to talk about much because they've already been brought up. Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. Easy,
Sweet.
obvious, modern villain. The best modern villain by far.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree. I agree. He really is great. Cool. Well, I guess quickly here some characters that I had considered that didn't make the roster. Let's see. Oh, one that I deeply considered, and you'll be like, "What the fuck?" Was Raven Baxter from That's So Raven.
Better than Corey.
Yeah, I thought of Corey as a joke, and then I was like, "Wait, That's So Raven was one the first live action Disney TV show to get more than 3 seasons and break Disney's 3 season rule."
Oh wow.
It was that popular, and I had considered Figment the Dragon at a time because he was in
Yeah,
he's
I
you know
thought
he's
about that too.
and
The
he's the
the
dragon
theme
character
park
who is
mascot. Yeah.
yeah the theme park mascot, and he's playable in like the Disney racing game that came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he has like this imagination power, and then that was kind of the throughway to be like, oh, Raven as a psychic can do similar things.
And apparently he has
Um,
like a crazy amount of merchandise.
yeah, yeah, he does. They really went in on that, but I wanted Jake Long so as my dragon, so I kind of veered away from that. Um, and then there was her. Then there were a few other like TV live action characters I had considered briefly, um, including Curtis from Phil of the Future, the dog with a blog, and I was like, wow, these are really cursed. And it's just kind of,
I
uh,
thought about Radigan as like my brawler character from The Great Mouse
oh
Detective.
yeah, that would have been great too. There's a lot that we're missing here. I thought of that just inherently it's a 50 character roster. Um, yeah, and we'll get into some of the others. I also thought of Sully from Monsters Inc., but
That'd have been great.
he didn't make he
Another
didn't make the
bestial
roster
brawler.
because yeah, precisely it. I mean, there are a few big guys on my roster. I was like, okay, somewhere we need to make a cut. Even though I love that character, like I like Sully more than Beast and Wreck It Ralph. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
but but he's just he's a likable guy. But I did represent Monsters Inc.
Oh.
It's a great film. We watched it on one of my teachers in elementary schools laptops as it was out in theaters, which means that he bought a burned copy from somebody and was like, "Let's watch it, kids." And that was my first time watching it, and I have that door scene embedded in my brain after watching it repeatedly, like maybe 20, 30 more times. Anyway,
You
that could be the
say
stage.
that door scenes like there's so many
The
door
fight,
scenes. Like what the fuck
the
are you
the
talking
the
about?
fight, the one with all of the doors
Oh, the
swinging.
door fight sequence. Yeah, so good.
Yes, yeah. So I'm naturally, it's a buddy movie. We'll go with Sully's buddy, Mike Wazowski.
Wait. Wait. No. No, 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 they didn't.
What,
Oh,
what happened?
they put the
You got
ESRB reading over his face.
you got
Oh,
something on his
buddy,
eye. Get
no.
that out of there.
They put the E for everyone over his face. Oh, Mike. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
Hang on. I think I can fix this. I think I can fix this. Um, hang on. On my roster, I have Mike was that. No, what they do? They put the IGN rating over his face on my roster.
Whoa.
No,
This is the
no.
Okami Wii box art all over again.
God damn it! No,
Oh
what have
my
they
god.
done? Oh, those bastards! They fucked up Mike Wazowski twice. Oh,
Wow.
I
That's
can't. I can't. I can't believe they've done this.
me either. Wow, what a disservice
God
to an
damn
all
it!
around great guy.
All around is correct. He's
Yeah,
round. He's
Very
got a big
round, big
eye.
eyeball.
They
Yeah,
covered it up.
it makes people laugh with this funny faces and noises.
God damn it.
Has a stand-up routine that everyone enjoys.
No, they don't.
You can eat a microphone though.
You sure can.
Oh my word. Yeah, unique body type. That's why I went with him over Sully. Done.
Yeah. Sully's
I,
another big bistro brawler. It's like, I don't need him.
yep.
Let's do Mike.
Mike can like roll around and be weirdly shaped. There's stuff he can do because of that.
Yep.
And I wasn't gonna do Randall. Fuck Randall.
Fuck Randall. Water news though.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good one too. Kind of land Ursula.
Yeah.
Roz though. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, ball's back in my court because that already okay. Um you know what? Speaking of Ursula, I also have her on my list.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Who?
Speaking of Ursula, I also have her on my
Oh,
roster.
okay.
Yeah, late reveal. I mean, but hey, there you go. There she is. Not a whole lot more to add.
All right. Uh, yeah, I'll go there. This is another case where it's like a character, a movie where it's like, I want to represent this movie. There's two good characters. Let's see how things shake out later on. Because at one point, I flipped it as I was going through things, and I had Captain Hook to represent Peter Pan.
Hmm.
But I was just like, do I need Captain Hook when I already have Jack Sparrow? No, I don't. I don't need two pirates, so I dropped them and I put Peter Pan in.
Okay, nice. Floaty Boy,
Yeah,
Forever Young, etc.
yeah,
Tinkerbell beers.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I have Captain Hook on my list.
Oh,
Speaking
well, I mean,
of,
you don't have Jack Sparrow, at least so far.
spoilers, yeah, I don't,
Ah,
and yeah, I think he's a totally valid choice, and I really enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's past its prime for me, unfortunately, with the actors. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do that here personally.
yeah.
But Captain Hook, yeah, another classic Disney pirate doing piratey things and not too horrible of a guy in a way, but
No, he's
also
funny.
yes. Yeah, he's a funny guy. Crocodiles, etc. Yeah. So there's my pirate.
I am going. You know what? I haven't been in Disney TV in a while. We got to go there. Um, I said before that you had talked about Perry as being like
Mhm.
the cartoon to do, and I said I
Mhm.
had somebody else in mind.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reveal them now. And it's Kim Possible. Very popular. Got more seasons than the Curse number. Got movies,
Mhm.
plural, I
Mhm.
think.
I think
We
one
got
was
our
live
spy
action.
character. This is the cartoon Black Widow.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely falls in that category of a
I
Black
considered
Widow
Shigo
type.
though at one point, but I was like, nah,
That would
we're
have
going
been
Kim.
great. Yeah, Shigo would have been great too. But I think this is one of those ones where the character is like so indicative of the franchise, you can't go elsewhere first.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I also have Kim Possible on my roster.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Perry's more of the like, oh, modern cartoon character you need to include. She's the like perennial, the evergreen version of that. Like, oh, if you have one character representing the like 21st century Disney cartoon, it's her.
Yeah.
Even though it's so dated now, it's so the drama. Call me, beat me. It's like, what does beat me mean? No one knows anymore.
Damn.
Good, yeah, good times. Don't we all just wish beepers were back?
No.
Putting Big Bob out of business.
To whoever the fuck that is, I don't care. All right,
Helga's dead.
it's time for me to do one of my chaos. What the fuck have you done picks? That's a reaction.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, are you okay? Did you cough up a lung?
No, I choked on an ice cube.
Okay, so I'm really not sure which one of these characters I should reveal first. So I'm gonna ask you a question: left or right? Any other question I ask to
Left.
differentiate these characters will give it away. So left or right?
Left.
All right. So this one might be problematic in some ways, multiple ways, actually.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
but and this is arguably the character that I should have cut multiple times. I should have cut them multiple times, but I didn't because like no, this is happening. This is too funny. I need to I need to do this. I am revealing Santa Claus, the Tim Allen version.
Oh my god.
We're fighting as Saint Nick, motherfucker.
Oh my lord. Oh my gosh. Ho ho ho, in fact, not ha ha ha.
Hmm.
Oh my god.
I went there. Should I have? Maybe not. Do I care?
Oh my
No.
god. Just Tim Allen in cosplay fucking fight.
Yes. Yes. It is Tim Allen Santa Claus from the Santa Claus movies and the two
Oh
season
man.
Disney Plus show, where apparently one of the actors said that he was hard to work with. But yeah.
Tim, Tim
I
Allen
I
is
loved that movie as a
yeah.
kid. I really did. So this is
Mhm.
absolutely bias.
I also loved that movie as a kid, and I enjoyed the second and third for what they were. And I watch, again, Tim Allen is a controversial guy. Like there are things that I really disagree with him on fundamentally as a
Yep.
person, but nostalgia wins sometimes, unfortunately. And I watched the show too, which I also enjoyed. So I enjoy the pick. It's funny, and yeah, God.
Yep. And there were multiple times where he came close to getting cut. Several times he was just on the chopping block. And I was just like, it. I want to add in this character. And I was like, I will go through and be like, okay, who are potential cuts? And like every time I'll have like a group of like two or three characters that I could cut. Santa
Mhm.
Claus was always there, just like just waiting to get the axe. But I didn't do it. I kept him every single time,
We can all admit at this point that your roster is more cursed than mine.
which is not often. And
Yeah,
yet
I'm not
it's
gonna say
it's it's cursed, but it's beautiful. There is
yeah.
nothing wrong with my roster.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was better or worse. It's just more cursed.
Yes.
It definitely is. Seeing Winifred Sanderson fucking staring Jack Skellington down is very entertaining. I I really enjoy that. Miss Piggy is an amazing choice. I mean, yeah, you've gone there many times, and Santa really tips the scales.
And I'm not
Ah,
done.
oh, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not. Um, in the meantime, more grounded choice from me, I suppose. Uh, he is the terror that flaps in the night. Darkwing Duck.
Was in consideration, but I didn't go with him.
Another Jim Cummings character, I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, I love Darkwing Duck. He's a duck guy who is a crime fighter, superhero, spy dude. Bam.
Bam.
I yeah. Yeah, not a lot more to say, but after talking about Kim Possible, it's like, this feels right.
Yeah. I am going. God, we're getting to this point. There's only 15 characters left to go over for each of us. Uh
Wow.
let's go back to Marvel. Uh I've got the old, I've got the new, and now I've got something that's a bit of a crossover
Okay.
because they haven't. It's a little sticky. They've been in the MCU, but they haven't been in the MCU because it's Wolverine.
Ah.
It's Hugh Jack. Well, it's not like we're not gonna see Hugh Jackman in the game, but it's Wolverine. And Wolverine like has only appeared just recently in Deadpool 3, but it's not like the prime main Earth MCU Wolverine because we don't have that yet. But
Mm-hmm.
we did have the Fox movies,
Mm-hmm.
and Hugh Jackman was hugely popular. So I was like, I'll throw Wolverine in.
There you
I
go.
try. I wanted to keep it to just MCU characters, but Wolverine is my one exception.
Yeah. With the knowledge that he will be, like we will almost definitely see Jackman's Wolverine in the Avengers films coming up.
Yeah,
Um God. Okay. I was wondering. I was wondering if you would go for Wolverine or Deadpool or none of them. So now we have our answer. Both Wolverine. Cool. Um all right. So yeah, I'll go back to Marvel. You mentioned old and new. This character's old and new in a way. They are old as a villain and new as a hero in a sense. I am including Loki on my list.
great choice.
Yeah, great choice. I figured, a sorcerer character with the power that he has, especially more recently, uh, would be cool. Would be great to have. Um, I would imagine he'd lean more into, the powers he initially had in the Avengers and Thor movies. Maybe you could throw a little bit of TVA shit in there. Who knows? Yeah, just God, shout out to that show too. Like season two, especially, is such a mind fuck. It is a really good. They've done him well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Loki also is a character that like whenever I've made like Marvel vs. Capcom rosters, like I support Loki. I'm just like put Loki as a fighter in these games. You are kidding yourselves if you don't make Loki a playable character. What
Yeah,
is wrong with you? Put him in.
something's been wrong with him so far. They can amend it at any time though.
I mean, let's not talk about Infinite. There's a lot of things wrong with Infinite.
Speaking of, there's one more Marvel character. You can see that now. So
Yeah,
we'll get to that later.
there's one more for me as well.
Nice.
Next up for me, let's. You know what? I teased that Elsa was the second most recent Disney movie character on my roster.
Yeah.
So there's only one character that existed after her that I have here.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to reveal them.
Yeah.
I'm going with Maui from Moana.
Oh, nice.
We got big boy character. We've got
Hmm.
sword fighter, kind of technically, and also shapeshifter, all in one.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
lot that you can do with him. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Moana 2 is happening, and he was in
Hmm.
the trailer
Hmm.
for it. I actually only just watched the trailer the other day, and if he wasn't in the trailer, I might have dropped him for somebody else.
Hmm.
But the fact that he's confirmed there, and then we're getting live action Moana.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Maui works really well. He'd be a fun choice.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm disappointed in myself the most in is I didn't think of Moana at the time, and I'm like, how could I not have thought of that? It was such a big, made such a big splash, and I enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
I mean, it,
I
it
would have gone
helps
for,
when you go
yeah,
through the list of all Disney movies and you just write them down.
yeah, yeah.
I,
But yeah, there's nothing Moana for me, unfortunately. There should have been, but I do have another big guy, in place of Maui, I
oh
suppose.
boy.
But he's more of a healing type, more of the type of guy to give you a hug and say do 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 do. It's Baymax
Ah,
from Big Hero 6. kind of a Marvel character, kind of not in this circumstance.
So
Um,
here's the, oh no, go on.
no, no, no. Please, what were you gonna say?
Here's the funny thing about Big Hero 6. I considered at different points in time, three different Big Hero 6 characters were all on my roster. Never like at the same time. Like I kept on cycling them out and replacing them
Hmm.
before I eventually unfortunately deleted the slot for something else.
Hmm.
Because I started out with Baymax, and then I
Yeah.
had Honey Lemon,
Okay.
and then I had Fred. I thought that'd be a
Yeah.
really fun, wild choice. But sadly, they all eventually got dropped collectively, uh, which was majorly unfortunate. There were a lot of things I
Yeah.
wanted to do, but man,
Yeah. I really I enjoy the world of Big Hero 6, probably more than I enjoyed the plot of the movie, which felt like at times like they rushed it a little bit for me. Um, but yeah, I like what they did with Baymax in this film, and how they adapted him from this bizarre fucking amphibian thing into this Michelin Man fluffy friend.
yeah,
And having a bigger character who has these weapons at his disposal, but who is more apt to be a healer in some circumstances, that would be interesting to play as. So here he is. San Francisco would make an awesome stage. Done. Blammo.
yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back to Lucasfilm.
Okay.
We got a Sith, we got a Jedi, but there's more than just Force users in Star Wars. There's
Yeah.
lovable scoundrels as well.
Got
And there is
Hondo on your.
no God, man. Oh, fucking love Hondo.
Me
But
too.
no, there's no Star Wars character that more embodies lovable scoundrel than Han Solo.
Yeah.
He's like in we get a gunfighter, like this snarky, kind of a snarky little shit, in a way. Um, you could bring it like give he got to use Chewbacca's crossbow or crossbolt. Fuck, I forgot what it's called. At one point in the new movie, so slap him with that. Except, oh, I don't have Han Solo. I have Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, on my
Oh, you
roster.
do.
I do. I If Mandalorian as a show didn't exist and kind of, let's say, revitalized Star Wars a bit after the sequel trilogy did not do so well, then I probably would have Han Solo here. But
Hmm.
or I might have just actually no, I probably would have gotten Boba Fett. Let's be real, I would have gotten Boba Fett. But I went Din Djarin because the Mandalorian is very popular. It's done so good for Disney Plus. You've got Grogu in
Hmm.
there as well, who could appear as like in a taunt or something. And then the Mandalorian is just a really strong fighter and gets us something different, while also being something
Yeah.
that can use more than just a gun, which admittedly Han Solo is limited in that regard.
Definitely. I mean, the Mandalorians are known fighters. Like their entire culture revolves around the act of the duel and hunting and so on and so forth. So he is a very versatile fighter, and that's also why he's on my roster.
Makes sense.
Din Djarin is here for all the reasons you had mentioned and more. And yeah, Grogu will appear. They're going to want to push that merch.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
um, yeah, there's so many great Star Wars characters, and it's hard to pare it down. But I think we did a good job. Um, you may have another one, I don't know, but it
I
would have
do.
been funny if you had Han
There's
Solo
one
and
more.
Indiana Jones
I mean,
on the same roster. But yeah, it could have been Han, could have been Lando, Chewbacca. There are a lot of good choices. But yeah, I went with Din for the same reasons.
yeah,
And if you want a preview on how he can work in this game, you can check out my Din Djarin moveset on the Smash Mafia wiki.
yeah. I still don't know why you did that. It's like, oh,
On a
okay,
whim.
okay, all right.
Hondo's next, of course.
Mm. Okay, I'm gonna go. This is another recent Pixar movie. It didn't do the greatest. You know, the times that the movie was released in just movie theaters and direct to Disney Plus day one. It's just not great. I don't like when they do that.
Hmm.
But I like this movie. I thought it was fun, and I like. I mean, I'm gonna say this. It's gonna split. Well, okay. I like when things play with elements. I think
Hmm.
like looking at elements as like a core theme is a thing that you can do a lot of fun with. Look at Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Fucking incredible. Avatar is not well. Avatar is here, but it's the wrong Avatar. But Pixar released Elemental,
Yeah.
which is a really really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I would have liked to see more like the wood element, the earth elemental people got like no presence. Wind got a little bit, but it was mostly about fire and water and how those elements don't typically go together. But you know what? It's a Romeo and Juliet like tale without the death.
Right. Spoilers. That's
Yeah. And honestly, like I decided to pick Ember as my rep because she's the main character too. She's the one that's like treated as special because she has like the special super hot fire. I considered cutting her a few different times because I already have Hades. It's like, do I need two
Mhm.
fire characters? Eh. But I was sitting there, I was just like, fuck it. I'll have both Hades and Ember. Nobody can tell me what to do.
Cool. Cool. I haven't seen this movie yet, but I want to. It seemed to come out to like a tepid applause at the time, but people there are a lot of people who have come out since that are like, this is a really great movie.
Hmm.
And I would like to see it soon. And so thanks for the endorsement. I do have an elemental character on my list though too,
Oh.
my roster, and it's Wade.
Ah, the water boy.
Ember, Ember's water boy. And that's exactly it. That's exactly why I went for it. He's water. He is water, um, representative of the movie with an element that we don't see as often in this medium.
Hmm.
Um, whereas you have Jake and you have a couple of other characters that use fire, so I decided to use water and do something a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go old school. Let's go deep into the Disney ages. This is my third oldest Disney movie character. A little bit
Hmm.
younger than Snow White and Peter Pan, a little bit older than Robin Hood and Tigger. It's Mary Poppins.
Bambi. Oh, nice. Very good.
She got that
Michelle would love
umbrella.
it too.
She's gonna have Peaches, umbrella floating. Because why the hell
Hmm.
not? Very very well liked old school classic live action Disney movie. It also has gotten plays. It got a movie a few years ago. It was basically kind of like a documentary of Walt Disney basically trying to get somebody to let him tell the story of Mary Poppins and convince them to let him make the movie, which I
Hmm.
guess was based off of either based off an actual person or based off like a book or something. I'm not entirely sure what it was because
Saving
it
Mr.
looked
Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks. That's what it was, and I don't know many details about it because I didn't watch that documentary. Um, but I
I
was like,
did.
it's
It
a
was it
big
was quite good.
Disney history. I was like, this feels important to me to include.
Yeah. Oh my God. I yeah. That's another one. I'd given brief consideration a long time ago when we first made this roster. I don't know why I didn't go for it. Um, I actually love that franchise. I liked the documentary esque movie. It was actually a film, a history film,
Hmm.
where Tom Hanks and the other characters they played it out like a standard movie. It was really good. I liked Mary Poppins Returns with Emily Blunt as well. I thought that was well done. So yeah, I mean, and it's a character that is could really embrace just random shit.
Yeah.
There's it's such a zany franchise, and the elements incorporated with the 2D animation, especially, you can do something with. So, okay, cool. I'll go old school as well. You mentioned you could do Maleficent. Did. I did do Maleficent. Uh, it's more standard sorcerer character. We kind of see a lot of what she can do. Um, in all the many appearances she made, including Kingdom Hearts. Another character who uses fire technically because she has her dragon form. That would be the final Smash equivalent, obviously. Uh, yeah, not a whole lot to say. It's a character that Disney often returns to, and for good reason. She's a really good villain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So my next slot, going back to Disney TV here. This show, season one, people fucking loved it. Season two started to get a little bit of hate. Three, four, five, whatever, were all mixed. The final season, what the fuck? Why do we even have a final season? The season before it had a better finale. I'll just fucking say it. I'm talking about Once Upon a Time.
Oh, not Game of Thrones.
That's not Disney. Once Upon a Time though, like it has interesting concept for a show. Like here are these classic fairy tale characters, primarily based on their Disney versions, and for some reason they are all in a real town in the real world, but none of them remember who they are, or at least most of them don't. I can't remember if just one character remembers or if there's two characters that remember. I don't recall,
There's
but
two.
there was two. Okay, like they're when picking a character from this show, there's three options. You have your
Yes.
hero, Emma Swan. Then you have the two primary antagonists, which both are sometimes they're antagonists, sometimes they're not. It's they kind of waffle depending on what the current plot line is and what they need. But it's Regina Mills, who is the evil queen. Wait, no. Shit.
Yes. Yep. She was.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The evil queen from Snow White, or Mr. Gold, who is multiple
Oh,
things,
buddy.
primarily
Oh, man.
Rumpelstiltskin and the Beast from Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast. Then Emma Swan is an original character who is the daughter of Prince Charming and Snow White. So these were the three
Yeah.
characters I was considering. And originally I had slotted in Regina Mills. But I
Interesting.
removed her because of Winifred Sanderson. Two live action witch characters. I was like, I think I
Makes
can do
sense.
something different here. And also, funnily enough, Regina Mills is part of the reason why Maleficent wasn't on this roster, because originally she bumped off Maleficent, and then Winifred bumped off Regina Mills. It's like, well, shit. So the character I eventually went with in this slot was Mr. Gold.
Of course it was. The best character.
Yeah, obviously. He's just when he's good, he's bad, and when he's bad, he's good. Like he is the
Oh my
Once Upon
god.
a Time character for me, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The seasons where he makes an impact the most are the best seasons, and the seasons where he's not really a part of it are bad.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that was a show that certainly had its ups and downs and fizzled out a lot. But Robert Carlyle is amazing, and he did an amazing job with that character.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that is a an oddball choice, but it's not one I'm mad about, and it's not one that I think is like super chaotic because he is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
He is so cool. Damn, another one where I'm like, fuck, I wish I did that. But you know what? I'm realizing I didn't say I had Elsa on my roster. It's been so long, and
Wow.
it's so obvious. Yeah, there she is.
There she is. Took a while. She was late.
Whoops.
She had to
Yeah.
go get ice cream.
She yeah, she tends to be late for things. She was like hiding, in her little ice castle.
Yep.
God.
Okay. I have revealed 3 Disney TVs, 3 Marvels, 3 Lucasfilms, and 2 Fox characters. Let's get the third of 4 Fox characters out of the way now. This
Yeah.
Fox character, interestingly enough, is also on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I like him. Some people did not like the portrayal. I don't care. I enjoyed myself. I am bringing in Percy Jackson
Oh, okay.
from the Olympians. Originally a book series by Rick Riordan. Fox made a movie, and then Disney did a reboot for a TV show.
I liked it, and I don't know why people thought otherwise. It was pretty much the book.
Oh well, I did a little bit of reading. I haven't. I want to reread the book. Apparently, there is a lot of stuff cut again, which yeah, of things are going to be
It's a show.
cut.
It's a
Yeah,
show. Yeah, but
yeah.
okay.
I enjoyed it a lot. It made me want to reread the books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are really good. Yeah, great choice. I didn't realize that was a Fox property.
Hmm.
Okay, sweet. Next up for me, I haven't seen the Inside Out 2 yet, but I'll just say Joy's on the roster. Because of how big of an impact that second film has made. Um, Folks are really into it right now. And the first one was pretty good too. Um, didn't make like a huge personal impact on me, but I can see how growing up with the film for younger people especially is impactful and interesting. So yeah, main character from that, Bing Bong, rest in peace.
Well, he's in the trailer for Inside Out too.
What?
Yeah, Bing Bong is in the trailer
Wow,
for Inside Out too.
that makes me feel mixed
Confused?
emotions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is the second one out yet?
it's
Okay, I
been out
haven't
for a
watched it
while.
yet. I did watch the first one like in preparation for all this, and I will say an Inside Out character is my final Pixar character.
Okay.
And I considered there was actually 3 characters I was considering. One of them was Bing Bong because going into the movie, well, here's why. Going into the movie, I had the impression from seeing like things online, like memes and whatnot. I thought Bing Bong was the villain. Like that was the impression I had online. Then I watched the movie. It's
Oh
like,
my
oh,
god.
he's not the villain at all. Never mind, he's not my playable character. Sorry, you can be an assist trophy. But then I thought about like joy and sadness, and I thought like either like joy by herself, sadness by herself. Maybe like the two of them could be together. But since I already had Lumiere and Cogsworth, I didn't want to do that. So instead, I'm just like, okay, what else? What can I do? Because just having joy kind of felt weird to me. When
Mhm,
even though like she is the main character, sadness is the only other emotion that comes close to being important. The other 3 all
mhm.
kind of get sidelined a bit. What I decided to do is be like, all right, fuck it. It's a summoning character. So I have joy, but then for her various moves, she'll bring out disgust, or anger, or sadness, or fear, or the new ones anxiety, ennui, embarrassment. Uh, I don't know the other one's name with the bright, sparkly eyes. Bringing them out to do some attacks. Like anger can cause his fire to flare up, and he just like does a small fire pillar in front of Joy as the like
Yeah,
hits people in the air above her. Easy
yeah.
stuff like that.
That's a great way to approach it. I'll say, yeah, I thought of that too. That was very good. I'll go back into the Pixar well quickly. Shout out to A Bug's Life. Um,
Fuck
Very underloved
yes.
film, very underloved, and it's an amazing movie. Flick.
I wanted to have Flick so bad. If I gave Pixar more slots, Flick most likely would have been here.
There he is. There he is in all of his glory. Let him build a stick fortress for you to defeat the grasshopper menace.
Hell yes.
There was a Bugs Life game that came out on like the
Yeah,
Super
PS1.
Nintendo or something.
It was on PS1.
PS1,
I
that's
had it.
right. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, pull from that. There you go.
I remember nothing, but I had that game.
Nice.
Okay, let's go. Boy, I'm really getting down to like last categories. Um,
Hmm.
let's go with another, much like Mary Poppins, an old school live action Disney movie
Nice.
that got a sequel, wasn't
Oh,
well received, and kind of killed. And they were wanting to make it do more movies, but the sequel flopping kind of sunk it, which is really sad because I think the world of Tron is something really interesting.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So I'm putting Tron on my roster.
Surf bots included.
What?
Real, yeah. Just kidding. That's a really cool choice. I didn't go in that direction myself, but I thought of it and I like the pick. The first movie was really good, and blam, there you go. I'm glad they got a Kingdom Hearts reference too, which was unexpected at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, getting down to the wire here. Who do we want to do next? Kind of more of a pedestrian pick. I'll tell you that Scrooge McDuck is here. There's a lot of ducks on my roster.
Wow.
Yeah, quacking stuff. But
Wait,
I
do
just
you
couldn't
have a
avoid
lot?
it.
You only have two ducks.
Three:
Who's the third duck?
Donald, Darkwing, and
Oh
Scrooge.
shit, I missed Donald. Scrooge is also
The
one that was
one,
like on my short list, and I was like, man, I would love to have Scrooge. I was like, again, just did not have the room, but then you had him. I was like,
yeah,
okay, good. I can have
yeah.
this. There we go. That's
He
fine.
he barely made it. Like there were other characters that are more relevant now, etc. But this is a bias pick for me. He hop around on his pogo stick and swim in the gold.
Sure.
And DuckTales was a fun show. I liked the adventure elements to it. It was great. So there he is.
There he is. All right. This I have one last Disney movie villain. Not my last Disney movie character, not my last villain, but my last Disney movie villain. And
Okay.
they a big one.
Mm.
This is another spot where I could have gone with either the hero or the villain for this movie. And there was actually a third character that I considered for just some sheer wackiness. And that probably gives it away. But my
Oh,
final Disney movie villain is Jafar.
Jafar. Yep.
It's
There you go.
one of the big Disney villains easily.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I needed him, Aladdin, or the genie. One of them had to be here, and I didn't do genie because I have somebody else not revealed yet that can be the chaos. You can do literally whatever the fuck you want with this character, and it's all canon. But I went with Jafar for the villain.
Nice. Yeah, he was also heavily considered for me, and at that point, I may as well say, yeah, my Aladdin pick is Aladdin.
Makes sense.
He is there. The genie can be incorporated into his moveset. Um, Otherwise, he had give him the scimitar from the game. Uh, have him hop around street rat style. Call it a day. But yeah,
Acrobatic.
they're yeah, great old movie. Jafar is an amazing villain, not a bad choice at all. And they complement each other well. There they are on our rosters.
Yep. There are five characters left from both of our rosters.
Oh, oh, buddy.
I have one more Disney movie character, one more Disney TV character, one more Marvel, one more Lucasfilm, one more Fox. All of my Pixar is here. I really wish I gave more to Pixar. I think it would require cutting some of my hilarious picks, but I do think I should have had more Pixar.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm gonna
One,
go
two, three,
with
four, five, six. Okay.
actually no. No, I'm not gonna give it to you. I will go with Marvel next.
Okay.
My final Marvel character is not a hero. I have all I wanted from the hero. So if I was going to add another hero, I would have just done Iron Man and called it a day. But I wanted to do something else. I wanted to represent.
Oh boy.
That's right. I wanted to represent the villains. And there are some great options. You've got one of them with Loki.
Crossbones.
No. No. I would have done Batroc the Leaper before I did Crossbones.
That's right.
I went with Thanos.
Ooh. Well,
Naturally.
yes. Um, what a character.
I don't need to explain
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, little one, because I also have Thanos on my roster.
Of course.
And he's the final Marvel character for me. Uh, yeah, he, he's the definitive villain of the first major leg of the MCU. It is a great choice and an obvious one, and here he is on both of our lists.
Mm-hmm.
It feels right.
It feels right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the end of MCU stuff for both of us.
Yep.
Cool.
And I think next I'm going to close the chapter on Disney TV
Okay.
with a cartoon character.
Okay.
A more modern one compared to Kim Possible. This one is from a show that is also, very popular. People love this show. It did get a proper ending. It didn't just get
Mhm.
canceled before its time. A friend of mine actually recommended the show, and then I watched it and was like, you know what? Yeah, this is good shit. And this is my chaos character. This is who I chose over Genie to be the you can do literally anything with this character because they
Yeah.
can do literally anything. And it's Bill
Mhm.
Cipher from Gravity Falls. The
Nice.
little chaotic triangle.
Oh, ha!
Don't
That
fuck
thing.
with him.
That thing. Oh my gosh. That is great. I'm not familiar at all. I mean, the show I've
You
been
would
told by
you would
many
love the
people.
show, honestly. You would love it.
Okay. Well, I'll watch it tonight. But start now. Um, is he a villain or what?
Yes.
Like I know the design. Okay. Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense. I mean
He's an interdimensional villain who can just do borderline anything wacky reality breaking shit.
Okay, that is perfect. I mean, say no more. Now I see why you don't have Deadpool on your roster.
Or Genie.
Or Genie. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Genie would have been cool. I mean, well, he's technically part of my roster. If he's like, oh, he's there with Aladdin, done. Um, but wow, that is fun and yeah, unexpected. I mean, only because it's again like it's a more modern Disney show. It's not something that would have been on your radar otherwise. Had a friend not recommended it, so neat. I'll check it out. I may as well close off Disney TV too with a cartoon character of my own. This is a show that I started a while ago, and I really have enjoyed it. I finished the first season and need to finish the rest. My understanding is that it's like a cult classic that didn't get it did get an ending, but it could have gone longer, as what I've read from it. Um, but it's Luz from the Owl House. which is a fun show. I think you would enjoy it too. It's pretty grounded. It's not super over the top, but it's a fun show about a kid learning about magic at a magic school.
I heard a little
Um,
bit about Owl House and also Star Butterfly when doing this
mhm.
research, but I just didn't have enough time to devote to watching a whole watching movies is one thing, but
Right.
watching an
Yeah.
entire show was a bit more work than I was going to put into for researching this, and I didn't want to include things of something I hadn't seen. But
Yeah.
Owl
Yeah.
House and Star Butterfly, I had read that like these were both really popular shows. People really liked them, and that people I've seen other people say like, yeah, they should be playable or in something. And I was like, I can't, but I'm glad that you gave at least one of them a nod.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And she has there are potions and just kind of classic spells you can pull from that I think would be the basis of the moveset. She's the mage character, but I think giving her a little more from like outside of the canon of what other characters have learned from the school or whatever could also work. So you can also give her shape shifting abilities with the staff, a la Jafar, or petrification spells, things like that, that make it a little more interesting. But yeah, just a great uh, inclusive choice from a modern show. That yeah, it is good. It is a solid show.
All right, I got one Lucasfilm character left, but there's a reason why I've been saying Lucasfilm and not Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh
Indiana
yeah.
Jones also fucking exists, and he's Lucas's other popular franchise. So yeah, of course, Indiana Jones is here.
Okay. I was like, are you gonna go for some deep shit that I have nothing about? Are we gonna get the fucking Wookiee Christmas thing
No,
or the Endor Ewok special? Like they made like 3 Ewok movies.
God no. It's BB-8.
There he is. Oh yeah. Okay. Of
Babu
course
Frick.
Indiana Jones was there. Yes, please. I wish. Yeah, he's such a natural choice. I mean, Indiana Jones is to his little lane that I think he's like James Bond level equivalent. Like such an icon. So I'm glad he's on your roster too.
Yeah.
Uh it would have been funny if one of us had Indy and Han on there, but yeah, you're right. Han was a little more limited.
Yeah.
Um, but I did consider it. Okay, so that leaves us with just what 3 left.
Three
Okay,
on you, two from me.
I have one more. I have 2 more Pixar. So let's go back to the Pixar board here. A villain character for me that rounding out my selection of villains actually, arguably, is Ernesto de la Cruz
Son of
from
a bitch.
Coco. I really, yeah, he's a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy
Is he
indeed. I mean,
the
and he
is
has
he the worst Pixar villain?
amongst them, yes.
Fuck
He is
this
fine.
guy.
I really, yeah, yeah. I mean, naturally, I mean, probably no surprise to you. This movie made a big impression on me, and I really love this movie. Um, and he is essentially in this world Mexico's greatest musical star who passed away a while ago, and people still um, love him and pay tribute to him. Except it turns out he plagiarized all of his shit
Yep.
and killed his songwriting partner who helped him do it. Who's also, yeah. I mean, without getting into it all, he's bad.
Yes.
So having a real piece of shit, uh, like Scar level piece of shit, bad dude with cool motif, musical, very much me. I thought slightly more interesting than having the kid who I'm forgetting the name of at the moment. Uh, so I went with him, even though he's a piece of shit. And he's at the Disney park. So I mean, if I were a Disney adult, I would go there to give him a piece of my mind.
Do it. All right.
Okay.
We got two left. I got a Disney Prime and I've got a Fox. And I'm going to save my last Disney character for last. So, my Fox character. I think this first of all, people love the movie. The character is fun. The situation the character finds himself in and how they use the situation to their advantage time and time again, it's just fucking funny. And I think that you can translate how they operate into a fighting game in a real fun and amusing way. I would like to nominate for your consideration my fourth and final Fox character, Kevin McAllister from Home Alone.
Oh my god.
Fuck, give me a trap based character. Fuck yes. Please, sir.
Oh my lord. What a man! You just keep outdoing yourself. Actually, it's not as curse of Santa, but you're in some ways. I mean, that's
Heh,
ingenious and
heh,
hilarious.
heh.
Man, God. Not a whole lot more for me to say than that. I'm going to process this one. It'll be interesting for sure. A bait and switch character throwing paint cans and throwing tacks on the stairs and shit. Nice. You know what? I'm going to throw you a curveball. I have a video game character remaining here, and I'm going to show him now.
Oh,
We're gonna, yeah, unexpected, right? Uh, Here is in the mid to late 2000s, there was a club that I enjoyed visiting,
the
and
Mickey
this
Mouse
club
Club?
had close. This club had soda pop and all the fish you can eat. Had snowball fights and disco balls. I'm talking, of course,
Okay.
about Club Penguin,
Wait, didn't that get shut down in 2017?
and we don't give a shit. We're running
Okay.
on we're running on the past here, baby. Here's memories of penguin life revisited. This was basically just like an old school chat room of sorts, the base game where you walk around as a penguin for some reason and play these rudimentary games that don't really mean a whole lot, like
Hmm.
bobsledding and snowball fighting. And for some reason, it's what we did for fun in the late 2000s. Or at least
If
many of
you
us did.
say so, I was never on this thing.
Oh, hey, it's played Neopets, close enough. Um, yeah, and Pokemon Crater. But anyway, um, there there is my kind of singular chaos. What the hell pick? It's the Penguin from Club Penguin, revitalizing an entire franchise with its presence here today. You can have a blue penguin, a pink penguin, a red penguin, an orange penguin. It's like the baby Yoshi from the Thousand Year Door, but they all look generally the same with just color swatch, so they're less controversial.
Okay.
And they throw snowballs and bobsled and eat and fish and can cook you a pizza.
Sure.
And there's these weird furry things that you can collect too. So maybe they can like follow the penguin around and they can throw them like Pikmin.
Like a purple Pikmin. It's
That's
what
how
our
I feel.
bodies are.
Strong and resilient.
All right. I have one left, and it's my
Yeah.
chaos.
Another one.
Arguably, you could argue who is my most chaos of my chaoses. But this is definitely
Hmm.
one of the ones. Before I reveal them, there's one particular movie that I kind of want to mention that I watched this movie really wanting to include a character for, but nothing worked for me. Uh, I wanted to include fuck, what's it called? I'm looking at my list of characters. Be like, wait, shit, hold on. Where's your name? Then I can find what your movie was called. Oh no. Oh, from Encanto. I
Yeah.
wanted to include Mirabelle, but I didn't see a great way for me to do it outside of making her a summoning character. And between her and Joy, I thought Joy was the better pick. So I
Yeah.
didn't
Her grandma
include Mirabelle.
sucks.
Her grandma does suck. But I did want to make special mention of Encanto because their house is a fucking perfect stage.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say. I'm not giving Encanto a playable character, but I am giving it a stage. And considering that the stage is the house is alive, it's kind of a character. So it's
I
yeah.
almost thought I for a brief second I'm like, oh my god, he picked the fucking house as the last character.
No, 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 no. Although I did and earlier, I was gonna try and set something up because I said nobody talks about something, and I thought I made a mental note in my head. It's like, oh, I should use this more. Just like do this whole nobody talks about thing. Just like throw him off, make him think I'm leading to like Bruno or something. But then I forgot to do it. Uh, but for my final
Yes.
pick, so we had a lot of rules with this. We had to make sure that things were like definitively Disney. Obviously 50 characters. We kind of kept like primary categories. Uh, but there was there was no rule that dogs can't fight.
Oh my god.
That's fucking right. I have Buddy from Airbud. You're goddamn right. I have the sport
Oh my
playing
god.
dog who they're just like, oh yeah, this dog joined our basketball team, and like the enemy team is just like, what? That's gotta be against the rules, right? The guy's just looking through the rule books like, there's no rule a dog can't play basketball. And then the sequel's like, there's no rule a dog can't play baseball or soccer or fucking lacrosse or whatever the fuck. Eventually, you'd think they start making rules about dogs being able to play sports.
Ah,
They didn't.
there's no reason a
Instead, there's
dog
there's
can't.
Air
Yeah.
Buddies now, which I don't know if they stopped
Yes.
making those. It's like, oh look, it's Airbud's children or something, and they're all their own team. Sure.
Oh god.
Uh, I also had in consideration Al from Angels on the Outfield. But I was like, I can't do both Al and Buddy. I can't do that. That's too much. And I settled on Buddy. It's like if I could only have one of you two, I gotta get with Airbud.
That is hilarious. That is incredible. Santa's the most cursed,
Fair.
but Buddy is the best. Like I love that. That is great. My God, when was the last Airbud? It was in 2013. They need to pick that franchise back up.
Was that Airbud or Air Buddies?
It was Super Buddies, the superhero
Oh
sequel
God,
to Air Buddies.
no.
Oh my God, there were
The
seven Air
the
Buddies films.
there are only five proper Airbuds.
Yeah,
Basketball, football. I'm thinking this is soccer. Yeah, it is. Baseball, and then Spikes back. I'm guessing. Yeah, volleyball.
I love the Golden Receiver for football. That was clever.
Oh yeah, that's a great title.
Santa Claus. There are two Christmas movies about this. Okay. Okay, we're getting deep into that territory, which is fine because
There's
for my,
three Christmas movies because there's
yeah.
also Santa buddies.
Wow, there's a whole set of lore here that we're gonna have to look into further.
Each movie had
Um,
a different dog playing buddy. In fact, most of the original movie had one dog. The other four movies all had 4 or 5 different dogs.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's okay. Good. Well, they're not overexerting them on strange human activities, then I suppose. Um, you would never know. They all look the same. I guess they're all golden retrievers,
Yeah.
just like me.
Mm.
No, that's all good and fine. The Airbud exposition was fine because I just have one simple word for my last reveal. Wow.
There he is.
Yeah.
I thought Penguin was going to be your last character.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to, subvert expectations.
I think the only expectation
Wally,
subverted was mine.
yeah, precisely. Well, no one else knew it would be there, so yeah. Um, yeah, I actually have never seen Wally. I feel like that's a cardinal sin. People talk about it a lot. It's really well loved. Um,
Eh,
so are a lot of so are a lot of Disney movies. So you kind of pick and choose,
I
But
wasn't enamored by it, but I also didn't care for Up, which people swear is one of the best Pixar movies ever. I'm just like, eh, I didn't care for Up.
yeah,
That
no,
said, it's obviously a stage.
definitely, definitely. I cared for Up, but that's a whole other discussion. I also cared for Up when it was in Once Upon a Time. If you
What?
remember that.
I
Yes.
don't.
Okay. Okay, you didn't watch the much maligned last season then.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, it has to do with your character. Um, yeah, I mean a character that moves around junk and can kind of pull off Rob's moveset a little bit and have Eve
Oh
there.
God,
It would
why?
be yeah,
Yeah, I
it
forgot they
was fun.
did that.
It was a beautiful expression of love. Oh my god. And on that note, there are rosters.
There's our rosters. Both of our 50 character rosters. Uh, some of their picks, just like, you know what, a lot of these are like, yeah, no, these make a lot of sense. Some of them, if we were to combine this, yeah, we both know some of our characters that would be dropping. We know it would make us sad, but it's like, okay, yeah, no, that they have to go. It's unfortunate, but it's the rules. But luckily, we don't have to do that. It's been 3 hours. I
Oh my
actually
lord.
thought this is actually shorter than I thought it's going to end up being.
Good.
Uh, yeah,
Good.
yeah. But
Oh
I'm
boy.
happy with these. Like, if I were to remake this from scratch and not have looked at my old roster, I would probably have some different choices. But I'm happy with what I have here. There's a lot that I would have wanted to include, but you know, that's what the sequel is for.
Yes, a sequel that we probably won't talk about on this podcast, but may
Nope.
end up talking about together
In ten
at
in
some point.
Super Casper season 15, we will do
Fuck.
Disney's Kingdom Clash 2, build off this roster, and add more characters.
Yeah, no cuts, just man. Dog with a blog and Air Buddies will make it in.
Not on my roster, they won't.
Well, maybe I'll be trying to outdo you on the curse that time around.
I feel like with these rosters, when it comes to move sets, you usually outdo me. When it comes to making rosters, I tend to have more wild cards than you, I feel like.
Yeah, I kind of approached it for the most part as oh, what would Disney actually do?
It
You
would
know?
another thing that surprised me is just like the amount of like Disney proper we both have is there's a gap.
Hmm.
It's like I have a lot. You could put a lot more on Pixar and Disney TV, which for you know, like I wish I put in more Pixar, but Disney TV you went you have seven.
Yeah.
I only have four.
Hmm. And trying to sell those Disney Plus subscriptions.
Uh, are any of these on Disney Plus? I don't think so, unless Owl House is.
Owl House is.
Like the rest of these
Phineas
are
and Ferb
all older.
is.
Like these were Disney Channel, not Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean they were Disney Plus shows. I just mean they're on Disney Plus.
Ah,
Yep. Well, you certainly want Stranger here.
Oh yeah,
There are several options. There are a few that I wish I had thought of, particularly a Muppet. I think that is an important choice.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I would have put Moana on mine in hindsight probably, but overall, yeah, they're good. They're both good in their own ways. I enjoy both of these.
Well, on that note, I think we can go ahead and end things here. It's been another roster. Uh, Next season, what are we doing for it? I don't remember. We'll get there when we get there. That's a year away ish. But next time, Super Cast Brothers, our finale continues with Smashtopia, where we have a theme and we each have to make a character that fits that theme and present it to each other. So
Oh God,
look forward to that in
Lord.
a couple weeks. Yeah, that one's gonna require some work on our end.
Yes, yes, it
Some
will.
work.
Uh, look forward to it, and Wamba be with you.